Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Roll20 Presents Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Hello. Hi. Welcome, everybody. We took a week off, sort of. We had some rescheduling because of TwitchCon and other things, but now we're back, and we're ready to entertain you with Dungeons & Dragons and hijinks and silliness and Makaria being a drunk. But before we do any of that, Dave, thank you for attending today. I know you're not feeling particularly great. Dave's a little under the weather, so if he sounds different and if Aid is having some mechanical failures, you understand why.
Are you ready for this good voice? Yeah, this is my new in character voice.
Oh, oh God.
That's what happens when you get attacked by a shadow.
I mean, I got a tiny bit sick, but I told my body no, and then it stopped.
Well, that's good. Just tell your body no.
You just refuse.
I refuse to be sick.
But yeah, so how has everybody been? Lauren, I wanted to ask, how was it was Geek Girl Con, right, that you were at? I saw a picture of you on Twitter looking fierce. You were looking badass.
Oh, with the chainmail?
Yeah.
That was a labor of love that I made last year.
Yeah.
And it's specifically a character from a young adult fantasy novel. So Geek Girl Con is the place people know what it is.
Right.
Everywhere else, people are like,
Yeah.
are you Godric Gryffindor? No. Close.
Yeah.
No.
There's a special tension, I think, in that it's really great when someone recognizes your outfit, when they're like, hey, I know you. You're this thing from that obscure thing I also love. But then you have to balance that against the 95% of people who are like, are you a League of Legends character, or what anime are you from?
Yeah. That's why Halloween is very difficult as a cosplayer.
Yeah.
Because then the normies are like, what are you? And you're like, I spent very long time on this costume.
Yeah. Well, it's not a skill that I have, but you looked awesome. How was the rest of the con? Did you get to play games, or was it
It's
just...
a lot of fun. It's very chill for a lot of it. I played some games. A lot of it's just hanging out with people and shopping. I did a lot of shopping.
Mm-hmm. Blue Jay's a big con shopper. Blue Jay buys things at conventions.
And it's all like, oh, it's all local and nerdy.
I like supporting my friends.
No, it's not a criticism. It's just, it's true.
I don't know. For me, it's I could buy a print online and have it shipped to my home and not have to worry about maybe damaging it. Or I could say to someone's face, I love this thing. Can I give you money for it? And I don't know. I find the second preferable.
It's a lot. I like it. I like buying art directly from people, and I justify it with being like, oh, I'm saving on shipping.
Yeah. I mean, there's it's a nice thing to come home from a con. I don't really get a chance to do this much anymore, but the first few times I went to Gen Con, I always came home with just so much stuff. I was just like, look at all these games that I couldn't resist buying.
All of these games
all these
that will go on this shelf.
I'm aside from a few games, I'm almost exclusively. I don't play in person anymore. I don't play games with people face to face, with a few very rare exceptions. Yeah, I don't play games with people. You're
vaguely in front of each other.
Right. You're over here, got face over here. But I don't, because physical copies of stuff, having to lug books back from Gen Con or whatever, just isn't really the case anymore. Which I feel is nice as I get older and slowly disintegrate. It's nice.
Your back gives out.
Not having to carry that shit
just
around.
Can't carry those backpacks like we used to.
Yeah, exactly. Gen Con, so official Gen Con is in the chat. We do have a few games available for purchase. Yeah, if you go to Gen Con, pack extra luggage because my God.
I made that mistake this year. I had only my backpack and it was already full when I arrived. And I was like, well, fuck.
Yeah, totally. You just jam all your clothes to the bottom of your bag and then put, because board games and RPGs are not light or easy to move around. So.
Yeah,
that happened to me the first PAX I went to. I actually bought an extra bag in Seattle to take back with me to check because I had too much stuff and I didn't want to squish it.
Yeah. There's
that's the great part when you live in the same city as the convention. It's
and Blue Jay, you can back me up on this one. I own an e-reader. And I don't need to buy books, but every goddamn time we go to the bookstore, I'm like, that's cool. I already have this in electronic format, but that's a nice new cover of this book. I'll just pick that one up, just add it to the collection.
Bookshelves are great.
One of the lovely benefits of living in Edmonton is that there are no events here. So Nothing
benefits.
happens here, so I go to fewer events, and therefore buy fewer things.
That's true. That's true.
There's nothing here. The city's empty.
Now I'm just imagining like a
just me.
Last of Us
Just me
style
by myself
snow-ridden
out here.
wasteland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Edmonton, good stuff. Don't go there. Stay away. Is it snowing right now?
Really good sales pitch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's November. It's
Incredibly
winter's.
this morning.
Winter's already started. It's fine.
And like the roads were just crammed, like
Yeah.
3 hours of traffic for a 15-minute drive.
Is LARP season over, Elf, or is there like hardcore winter LARP stuff going on still?
You don't think I LARP during the winter?
It's one of those
I
rhetorical
got the
questions.
heavy cloaks for it. It's fine. Okay.
It's one of those rhetorical questions. I knew
What?
the answer.
Yeah, LARP season is never over when you're me, and also when you're the people who run LARPs around here, because otherwise you'd only get to play like 4 months out of the year.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
Cold weather stopped you, you'd be fucked. So pack warm, wear the wool socks, the wool cloak, the wool everything, because wool gets wet and stays warm. It's fine.
Yeah, so you can resist the cold. It's true though. It's like camping, but fantasy camping. So all of those things apply.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's camping, but anachronistically a little bit. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Blue Jay, you got to play some Dungeons and Dragons at TwitchCon.
Yes, I did.
How was that?
I played in a game with Jeremy Crawford and James Wyatt and Mika Burton and Brandon Stennis and myself and Ben Looms, I think, from Sirenscape. So Mika and Brandon are like cosplayers / like internet personalities, and then James and Jeremy work on the books, obviously. And it was really cool because I feel like there is, when you read through the adventures and the modules and the player's handbook and everything, you know that there's people behind it, but it's such a mix of different people like coming in and editing other people's stuff that you don't necessarily get just one voice, which I think is honestly to the benefit of a text like this. You don't want it to have all of that personality in it. It's but it was really interesting being GM'd by someone who like helped with that design and like kind of getting to like hear his voice and like reflect that on things that I've read before. I know he does like more designing than writing for the thing, at least I think. But it was still really, really cool. A really great experience, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and
I got to play in a game GM'd by Jeremy Crawford, and as a dungeon master, a longtime dungeon master of D&D, I was paying very close attention, and I know this is unfair because it's a con event. It was only 2 hours, but I paid very close attention to the way that Jeremy is ruling on certain things, and I noticed someone in our party, we had a druid in the party, and they cast Conjure Animals, and Jeremy let them pick the animal they conjured.
Oh, really?
God. I can't believe it doesn't even know the rules of his own game.
See, well, and that's the thing is like if you're the designer, you get held to these like super high standards about stuff. But mainly, I was like, am I doing it wrong? Like
I would have given them reef sharks.
Yeah, I would have given them reef sharks too. It's reef sharks all the way down. But no, but her character, the druid was like, I would like to summon a giant snake, and I was like, well, I'm sure you'd love to, but like, I don't think that's. And then Jeremy's like, yeah, cool, you summon a snake, and I was like, what? So yeah, it was a whole thing. But I had a good time. Those little 2 hour stage games are great, and I never get to be a character, so it was fun getting to play.
How was Mr. Blackbar?
Oh, Floon's doing good. Somebody in chat was asking, and I don't want to spoil my little one shot, but I will say this, I did get to play Floon Blagmar, which was super fun. If you imagine Floon Blagmar as a really stupid level 7 glamour bard. And it was really fun, but the events that take place in that one shot, they're canon in my universe, but that time hasn't happened yet. That game took place at Liar's Night, which is in the Forgotten Realms equivalent of like October. It's the Halloween of Waterdeep.
Oh yeah,
we're in the summer. So if you got to watch that one shot, you know what's in. Somehow Floon is gonna like become a PC and gain 6 levels between now and then, but that's fine. It's fine. He'll figure it out.
I have faith in him.
Yeah.
I don't really. but thought I'd try and be reassuring.
Listen, I did great. I think I won that one shot.
It was good.
Yeah,
It's good.
You can win at D&D. That's fine. That's a thing.
You can win at D&D.
Listen, don't listen to what the player's handbook tells you. You can win at Dungeons and Dragons.
I agree.
Tune into my Twitch channel. Tune into my Twitch channel. Find out how.
Look,
so let's do the thing. Let's do the game. Let's play some Dragon Heist. Let's warm up first. Warm up your hoisting muscles, everybody. It's time to hoist that dragon. So today, I think we're gonna take it back. We're gonna take it back to simplicity. I think we're just gonna do a nice, simple hoisting today. We're gonna hoist the dragon, and I'm gonna say, before you, in the great arena of dragon hoists, surrounded by all the various properties of Wizards of the Coast.
I'm imagining like this Emperor's box, like
yeah.
in this auditorium.
That's right. Yeah, and up in the box is the ghost of Gary Gygax and Richard Garfield and Dave Arneson and and all the various people. So we have this arena, this great arena packed to the gills with monsters and adventurers and what have you. And in the center of the great mass, down on the hoisting stage, we have Rin, Macaria, 8, and Jewel prepared to hoist the dragon. So the stage opens from below, and the little understage gnomes begin cranking the winch that lifts into view very slowly and dramatically, lifts the dragon that is to be hoisted. And today I think we'll be hoisting a bronze dragon. Let's hoist a bronze dragon today. We're going to hoist like a juvenile bronze dragon. It's been a few weeks. We'll let everybody warm up a little bit. Who will be first? Who wants to attempt to hoist that dragon?
I will.
Yeah. Okay. Rin, do you have like a special dragon hoisting outfit, or are you just dressed like you normally are?
I think
like a leotard,
like,
maybe
like the usual dragon like outfit, but it's like trimmed in gold because you got to be like fancier.
Right. Cool.
You know?
The stage version, the collector's edition.
It's the collector's edition. Yeah, it's the reskin.
Okay. Good.
So let's.
Is it like epic or legendary?
Oh god.
Oh no! All right. So Rin approaches. Describe your failure to us. You do not hoist this dragon.
I go to hoist said dragon, but find it far too heavy. And there's this moment of like, okay, I got my hands underneath the dragon, gonna hoist it, and nothing happens.
Right. So there's straining. Right. The drum roll. There's straining, and then nothing, and you're just unable to hoist the dragon. Yeah, and we get a shot of the crowd. We see like Regis coming back from the snack thing, and he like sits down next to Driz. He's like, "Did I miss anything?" And then we cut back to stage. Who's second up on the docket to lift this ancient serpent? Macaria.
Yeah.
All right, Macaria. Do you have a special hoisting outfit?
It's just more black.
Right, so it's Vanta black.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, here's a good question. I guess it's Shar, goddess of night, would have invented the Vanta black hoisting leotard.
She allows anyone.
So you're sponsored by Shar. This is a special.
Sponsored by Shar.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. All right.
I cast guidance on myself.
We cut to the audience and awaiting to see her sponsored streamer Macaria try to lift the hoist the dragon. We see where Shar would be sitting, but instead there's just like a black shape, like a lady shape in a seat somewhere, and you can just kind of like it's just absorbing all the light. And she takes a sip of her very expensive stage beer.
I finger gun at her.
Okay, cool. Merkel is absent because he doesn't exist because he's dead.
Okay, well,
Macaria,
I still get his blessing. I get 2 guidance on this.
Oh my God, Merkel is that guy who everybody invited him to the hoist, but he was like, no, that's not. I'm too cool to go to the heist, and then he just sits at home watching it on TV anyway. Oof!
I get a 7.
A shameful result. Oh, Shar, the black human-shaped blob in the audience gets up and storms out.
The reason why I do poorly on my hoisting is because I'm not paying attention to the dragon at all. I'm just like trying to pose nicely so that I look good.
Good, yeah.
I'm just you've got to show off the outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Integral part to sponsor.
And then I'm like, oh right, we're supposed to lift the dragon, and by then the dragon's like wandered off because it was.
Yeah,
bored.
I think at this point the bronze dragon is like asleep. He's got one of those little anime snot bubbles coming out of his nose, and you try to lift him, and he doesn't even wake up. He just kind of shifts slightly. He's like, nah, football practice. Nah. All right, Macaria,
okay.
You have failed.
Tabby's gonna go next.
All right, Jewel. So Jewel's up next. Okay, here we go.
She's gonna. You know what? It's probably not gonna go downhill from here, but it could.
Yeah, right. A 5 sprint.
Where does that?
Everyone is doing terribly.
She just gets up to it and like pushes it, and it doesn't move, and shrugs, and then hides behind it.
Would you like to make a stealth check to hide your shame? Okay, make a stealth check. We'll see if you can hide your shame.
Stealth check to hide my shame.
Okay. All right.
With a
20. Nice. Okay, let me roll. I'm gonna roll for the crowd. Let's see if I'll give them a flat, like a +3. Let's see if they notice your shame. Perfect. Your shame goes.
She never even tried.
Yeah, your shame goes completely unnoticed. In fact, you're marked on the results as like absent. Like you just you weren't even there.
Yeah.
Abstained from the hoist. Last but not least, 8. Can you hoist this dragon?
All right, I give it a shot.
There you go. All right, so 8 arrives at the hoisting platform.
Like 8's wearing like a WWE championship belt and like
right 12-time Eberron most kills in a single war champion. It's got a little picture of Keith Baker's face on the front of it.
He's got like those. He's like wearing Zangief's outfit with like the red spandex like pants, and the boots, and he goes up. He sees the dragon asleep. He's like, "Hey." The dragon wakes up. He's like, put his hand. Like, I see you. And the dragon's like, oh. And he runs over. And his face starts. And the dragon's like, oh. And everyone's like, yeah.
Everybody's cheering, the shouting in the audience. Everybody's very excited. And you hold the dragon over your head.
And I throw him at Jace Bellerin.
Okay, Jace Bellerin is not paying attention. He's looking at his phone. He's got all these emails from Ravnica that he's just putting in the ignore pile, and the dragon just lands right on top of him, and he's crushed, and Vraska gives you a little clap and looks at Jace's crushed body, and he's sent back to the plane of people nobody likes.
And also Teferi is there and ruins everything.
Right. No, if Teferi were there, you'd never have even gotten a chance to lift the dragon. Teferi would have just been like, no, it's my turn. All right, cool. Well, everybody's warmed up. We've hoisted the dragon. Congratulations, 8. Let's fade from that pre-show silliness into 8. Standing at the door of the Growlhund Manor, you've just opened the door, and before you, you see the handsome faces of Barnabas Blastwind and Saith Cromley, members of the City Watch who have been investigating the terrible fireballing that occurred just outside your house. And now they've come here, ostensibly to investigate all this noise that's been going on. And who do they see but our favorite adventurers? So 8, what do you do when you open the door? You see Saith Cromley there, and he says, well, what have we got here? And he sees you. Do you respond? What do you do?
I say, excuse me, sirs, do you have an appointment?
And Cromley blinks at you, and he says, an appointment? We're bloody members of the City Watch. We don't need an appointment. And he looks past you, and he's like, where are the Growlhunds? What's going on here?
It was a joke. Yeah, they're inside.
he nods. He's all right. I knew that. And he pushes past you to come inside. He sees the tied up man with the burned face in the corner. And then Barnabas puts a hand up and he says, excuse me. And he steps into the room and they survey the scene. There's a corpse on the table. There are corpses on the floor. There's a tied up man. And they see you and they see the Lady Growlhund and her bodyguard Frabaz. Right now, Makaria and Jewel, you are in the other room with Orend, with the Lord Growlhund, and
sitting amongst the corpses with dear Lady Growlhund.
Yeah, and Barnabas just like adjusts his glasses, and he says, "Oh my!" And behind them, a group you can see out in the yard. There are a bunch of members of the guard. They have shown up en masse. Let me just add them to the map here. They've arrived in a perfect rectangle And so there's like a whole pile of guards out in the area, and they've kind of spread out to look. There, a couple of them are looking at Herv's dead body, and so this place is just lousy with guardsmen now, who are ready to follow Barnabas and Saith's orders. Barnabas looks over at you, Rin, and he says, well, I suppose you'd like to explain yourselves.
Not much to explain, really. Problem here in the house. We heard it and came to help. Lady Growlhund will tell you we were nothing but helpful.
The Lady Growlhund is sneering neutrally.
Mm-hmm.
Barnabas says, so you were just happened to be wandering by when you heard a noise and came to their rescue? Is that it?
Yes. Basically.
It was more the shadow creatures in the front garden.
I
give you the fucking deepest look of resentment you have ever seen in your whole life. You just made my fucking job way harder.
and eight notices this and puts a hand up to where they don't have a mouth. Be like, oops.
So, Barnabas, he's walked over and Saith is examining a corpse, and Barnabas looks up from the corpse that you ran, and he says, what's this about shadow creatures? We saw some animals outside who seem to have been attacked. Dreadful scene. You
saw the body in the front yard, yes? That's what we saw when we came in. But passed by the gate. It's very obvious from outside that there's a body just lying there. And there were creatures, as 8 said, moving about. And we thought perhaps there was some kind of enchantment or something gone wrong. And to get to him, we'd have to climb the walls.
So you saw this murdered man outside and his dead dogs, and thought you would leap the walls and come to their aid. Why didn't you call the city guard? It is our job, after all.
The city guard were called, weren't they?
And
You're here now.
Yeah, and he looks at Lady Growlhund and she says, yes, the house was attacked, but not by any shadow creatures.
No, they turned out to be inconsequential, maybe summonings or something of the sort. I don't know.
And Barnabas says, my lady, in in my experience, ambulatory shadow creatures are almost never inconsequential. Magical threats escalate this situation dramatically.
Well, I'm sure if your guardsmen are keeping their eyes closely on the yard, if anything moves, we'll find out.
So Makaria and Jewel, you can hear in the other room, like, the sound of Saith's boots as he walks by the door. You can hear the conversation. Like, these rooms aren't hermetically sealed.
Is the man of the husband, is he like reacting in any way? Is he like...
No, he's just talking to his kids. Like, he's pretty sure his wife will handle it.
Okay. Well, then I'm also pretty sure that Rin will handle it. And I'm looking around the room and kind of like trying to see if there's anything like super interesting, like skull or...
Oh, yeah, please don't come out wearing the dead groundskeeper's cloak.
Uh-huh. With a hole in it and blood on it, yeah. Makaria is a liability at this point.
Makaria has always been a liability.
Every single other member of the party is a liability.
Rin is
I feel like at some point, Jewel might like tap Makaria on the shoulder and be like, maybe this isn't the best place for your attire right now.
Well, where do you suggest I put it?
In a bag. Turn it inside out. We need to be subtle.
And she looks over at, I'm sorry, what is his name? I forgot.
You don't know his first name. He's Lord Growlhund.
She looks over at Lord Growlhund and like, did anyone seem to take any extra notice of the cloak at all? Because no one mentioned it.
I mean, the Lord and Lady Growlhund don't know what their groundskeeper dress is like. They're not like, oh, that's old Herb's favorite cloak. Like, they don't, he's a fucking groundskeeper. He smells like dog and horse. They don't talk to him personally.
Yeah, I don't care. I look at Jewel and I'm just like, no, I like it. It's mine now anyway.
Okay. She tried. She doesn't care enough. She'll throw Makara under the bus if she needs to.
It's fine.
So the Lady Growlhund is saying, we cut back to her, and she's talking to Officer Cromley, and she's saying, earlier this evening, these, and she gestures the corpse, these ruffians broke into our house. It's my assumption that they were here to kidnap us. We took the children and fled upstairs while our guard attempted to hold them back. And then they showed up. I don't know these people.
I look to our friend Barnabas,
Mm-hmm.
and friend, quote unquote, and
Cops aren't your friends.
Listen, lawful neutral.
True. Okay, fair.
Cops are my friends. And I say to him, the reason we were by the gate is because I was still looking into the matter of the explosion by, our estate, as I spoke to you before. The man, and I gesture towards the burned fellow,
Mm-hmm.
there's the person that I was following, or that we were following. And he made his way to this estate. I don't know why he came here, but that was when we saw the bodies. So I can only assume that he came with nefarious purpose, and he had help. I say, gesturing to the black-clad people on the ground. Some of these fellows were still alive when we got in. Not shortly after, but that was a matter of defense. They were clearly acting on some ill intent towards our noble host. And I still have not figured out why that burned man would come here.
And Cromley says, well, that isn't really any of your business, is it? Investigating. It's our job.
No, I suppose not, but I was just going to bring everything I found to you regardless. So really, I'm just helping.
Well, it would be my suggestion if the lot of you would just keep out of the whole mess. Yes, I understand it can be very upsetting when there's a bloody fireball in your front door. And yes, I understand that for your average person, it's probably fair to assume there's some kind of conspiracy going about. You want to look into it yourself, but as you can see, and he gestures, it's a deadly situation. And yes, I understand that you're adventurers and what have you, but you're going to get yourself in trouble. And then you're going to get yourself arrested, and we wouldn't want that.
Deadly situation or not, I am capable of handling these things and would be a staunch ally to you were we to work together rather than separately.
And Cromley's like, well, I don't think we need any allies, staunch or otherwise, do we, Barnabas? And Barnabas says, excuse, Officer Cromley, it's just that, well, we find that this sort of vigilante behavior tends to complicate things rather than make them easier. You see, now we've got a whole other party to account for, a party of armed and, well, dangerous, gestures at you, individuals that we need to add to the mix. Frankly, Officer Cromley is correct. It would be best for all of us if you just sort of stayed out of it. Now, I assume the Lady Growlhund, you don't want to press charges, and the Growlhund says, "No, I just want all of this to be over and done with. Just take these bodies and that one," and she gestures at the burned man. "Take them away, and we can all just forget that this trespass, however well-intentioned, occurred."
Fine by me.
And she smiles, and it's like, it's a weird, thing. It's not, it doesn't make you feel comfortable or
nothing about this woman since I fucking met her has been anything sincere. And I know that. I'm just sitting here being like, well, I can't kill her, so there's nothing to do.
So she smiles and she says, very good. Well, unless the guard have any more questions for you. And Barnabas, he's like walked over to you by now. And he says, he's got his notebook out, and he says, let me make sure I've this straight. So, after the last time we saw you, you went about your business, and just coincidentally found yourself by the Growlhund estate?
No. I told you. I tracked the man from the explosion, this burned fellow who stumbled away with his injuries. And I thought maybe there would be some connection. And he led us here.
Yes, that's right. You did mention that, didn't you? He writes that down. He writes something down. And he says, so you tracked this dangerous man here. And then instead of coming to the City Watch, you decided to investigate yourself because you saw...
It seemed an urgent matter.
A dead body in the yard, was it?
In the yard.
Yes, of course. And you certainly had nothing to do with any of the violence that occurred here tonight.
Well, we certainly killed some of these black-clad individuals, but they were also violent trespassers. So.
And he looks over at Lady Growlhund, like, is that true? And the Lady Growlhund is like, I didn't see all of it, but it seems to me
the captain of her guard or what have you.
Yeah, she nods. It seems to me that they were, if not on our side, against those ruffians.
And it says, may I present Exhibit A? And he has like 8 crossbow bolts stuck into the armor, and the only people with crossbows are the people with black.
And he says, well, I mean, the presence of crossbow bolts doesn't always indicate one's innocence. Plenty of guilty men have been killed by crossbows, but I catch your meaning. So, you barged in with a hope to, rescue the Growlhunds from their assailants?
My primary motive was to see if I could find out why that burned man would come here. Secondarily, of course, when we heard fighting, we came to the rescue of those guard who remained and the lady and Lord Growlhund.
And he's nodding.
I had hoped that the whole place wouldn't be massacred when I walked inside, and thankfully that wasn't the case.
And Lady Growlhund says, yes, everyone who matters seems to have made it out relatively unscathed. And Barnabas kind of looks at her like, well, that's a funny way of looking at it. But Lady Growlhund, your home is secure? And she nods. We're going to have to replenish our supply of guards, but, well, they knew what this job was when they took it. And we'll make sure that their final payments go to their widows or whatever. Orphans. Please, it's been a very long night, and my husband and I we would love it if we could clean this up quickly. Don't worry about the blood. Just, if you need the corpses, take them. Otherwise, we'll set them out back for the Kelmvrites to come and take away. And she looks around like, where did that weirdo go? And I think she turns to Herbaz and is like, yo, go and oust the rest of our unwanted guests. And Herbaz starts heading out, and he leaves, goes into the other room.
Okay, before the other room gets invaded by a Herbaz, can I have been poking around and see if there was anything cool?
Just in this room?
In the study and this room, yeah.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Okay. I wanna know if I see anything really cool.
There's nothing cool in this room except for a falcon. Falcons are cool.
Of course there isn't. These people wouldn't have anything nice. They're rich assholes. Okay, so she's poking around at things and looking at pictures and paintings, and then she's just like, and did they lift the cloth over the cage? Are we able to actually see the falcon, or is he like, no, he's sleeping? Leave him.
No, they haven't. The falcon is asleep in the cage.
Okay, how horrible am I gonna be? I was drunk before, wasn't I?
I think you've probably sobered up because of all the adrenaline.
Oh man.
So you're like kind of hungover now.
Am I more likely to be murderous when hungover?
You think about that, and in the meantime, in the other room, Rin, I would like at the conclusion of your little your discussion, make a persuade check. I don't think it's a deception check because I noticed you've been honest. You've given him just true information.
All except for that we did kill the groundkeeper.
Yes, but he never directly asked. Like he said, you don't have anything to do with that, and
I
8
tried
interrupted.
to make it very truthful.
Yeah, 8 interrupted you before you had a chance to like be forced to lie. So I think it's a persuade check. Not at advantage or disadvantage. Just roll a regular check.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. And I will
17.
Ooh, good thing you used that inspiration. I will make a wisdom saving throw. Just to see. Got 12. All right. I got 12. You succeed. So he looks over. Cromley's looking at him like, so what are we gonna do with these hoodlums? And Barnabas says, well, I don't think there's any need to take the 4 of you. And he looks. Where are your friends, anyway?
In the other room with Lord Growlhund, they were looking at something with the children, I believe.
Well, it doesn't sound to me like this crime has anything to do with you. Now, my suggestion is that you don't leave Waterdeep. Go straight back to your home, and if we need anything from you, we'll send a guard to come and escort you downtown. You're not under arrest, but this is an ongoing investigation. And he turns and he looks at your burned friend and he says, I think we'll take this one in and have a conversation or two with him. What do you think, chum? And he starts walking over towards the guy who's just like doing his best, like angry, evil dude sneer. One of the guardsmen lifts him to his feet. And he says to Cromley, he's like, Officer Cromley, I'm going to escort our new friend here back to the precinct. Feel free to continue your investigation of the Growlhunts. And Cromley nods and he says, you can see him. He makes a face like, you're leaving me here alone with the nobles. I hate you, buddy. And he says, right. We'll investigate here. I'll meet you back. And Barnabas is like, yes, very good. Come along, you. And your new friend gets jostled outside by the guard, and because he's a villain, he shoots you a look. 8, you're the closest door. He shoots you a look like you're gonna regret this as he gets dragged away. Like the look is like, this isn't over. I'm gonna get you. And he gets dragged away. And the rest of the veterans basically like search the house. Herbaz comes in into the other room where Jewel and Macaria are. And he says to Growlhund, Lord Growlhund looks up at him, and Herbaz says, Lady Growlhund would like our guests to please make their way out of the house. We appreciate your efforts, but it's getting late. The children need to go to bed. And as soon as he says that, the kids are like, no! We hate bed, and they start running around. And their dad is just like, so Zartan, Greth, come back here. And he's like sort of trying to attend to them, but
100% while he's distracted by them, that's when Jewel wants to like lift it up and look at the Falcon.
No, same though. That's my thing. It's like I'm attempting to
look at each other and are like,
so you peer under the thing. Okay, all right. You are met by the angry face of a falcon awakened early. So you like peered up, and this bird just turns his head to you like, I'm going to kill you. And you just put it back down.
No, don't put it back down. I want to be a stupid jerk face.
Oh no, what are you gonna do, Macaria?
I want to cast inflict wounds on the falcon.
You have to touch it. You have to be able to touch it. You can't touch it through the bars.
I can't touch it through the bar.
No.
Yeah, you don't want it to bite you. Yeah,
Also,
Jewel will drop it.
It's
She's
a fucking
curious.
spell. Like,
Is it actually a falcon?
It is, yeah. It's a hunting falcon. It's a beautiful specimen, beautiful brown and white feathers.
There's nothing without a verbal component.
A noble creature
Brought it back.
who just wants to bite your face off for having woken it up.
Yeah.
And when he sees you lift the curtain, Herbaz like clears his throat.
Jewel like drops it and like ducks down.
Yeah, and he dodges the kid as he's making, like, the kids are just basically running around in circles around the room. And Herbaz dodges one, steps to the side, and opens the door, like, please, this way.
Okay.
And she'll exit.
All right.
Same. I look sheepish, like a child that's just been, like, told off.
Mm-hmm. So Yala comes over, the Lady Growlhund, and I gotta show everybody her picture again because the Growlhunds are so great. She comes over to you now that the cops are kind of busy doing their own thing, and she walks over to you, Rin, and she says, somehow one of her servants or something has like given her a pouch, a little black like velvet pouch. She walks over to you, Rin, and she says, I wouldn't want you to think that the House of Growlhund wasn't appreciative for your help, however unasked for. Please, a token of our gratitude. And she hands you she holds out a purse of coins.
Yeah, and I take the pouch of coins and say, I'm glad we could be of help.
She says, so you go to take it and she doesn't take her hand off of it. She like holds it to like keep your attention. And she says, I don't know if you know what it's like for nobility in this city, but rumors can be deadlier than whatever those people were. I'm paying you not only for your intervention, but for your discretion.
And Rin nods, and there's a moment where she like pauses and says, like, nobles, maybe not, but I know what it's like to be someone who wields a vast amount of power. And yes, you're right.
And when you assent, when you like agree to this shush money, she nods and she lets go. And then she makes a big dramatic like yawn that she like hides demurely, and she's like, it's become, and she says her voice goes up several like decibels here. So she's like, it's become so late. And that triggers like her servants are like, oh, we'll draw a bath for you, Lady Growlhund. And they're like, it's bedtime, everybody go into bedtime mode. And so the servants all kind of like rush around getting the house ready for everyone to go to bed. You hear the kids like shrieking in the other room as Lord Growlhund like chases them around, like, come here, you. And Herbaz has helped, like he picks Greth up by the scruff of his neck, and Zartan stops, and they're like, they've started to kind of give in. As the group of you is escorted out to near the door.
Out of the grounds.
I look longingly at the bodies laying on the table and like sigh.
Yeah.
If only I could have some corpses of my own.
I mean, you got one. You got one. You're just carrying it around with your soul in it for now.
That's true.
So you're taken outside and led out into the yard where you see the veterans. And I think at this point, like, are you just going to leave out the front gate?
I think that's the plan.
Okay, so you get outside.
Like, they're literally just escorting us out, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're not like, they're just like, thanks for coming, time to get the fuck out of here. But as you get outside, there are guards. There are city guards all over the place. And the ones near Herv, one of them is like crouched down looking at his body. The other one looks across the grounds at you, Macario, when you come outside, wearing the dead man's cloak. Now, he's never seen Herv wearing this cloak before, but you're wearing a cloak with a big hole in it and blood, and we'll see how good this guy is at detecting. Are you making any effort to, like, hide the fact that you're just, like...
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to give him advantage then.
Oh, I can intercept this in like a second. Don't even worry about it. Even if you're like, oh, you got a bloody cloak, I'll be like, we just fought for like fucking forever.
Of course there's a handout.
I have a bloody cloak.
There's the city guard. Probably the one on the left.
So shiny.
I don't think you do, however, you see from the like a moon shadow of like there are two griffin riders that have kind of like they're doing a little neighborhood like scan in case they need to go chase anybody down. But as you walk out, one of the guards looks up and he's like, and let's see, he's got a roll his perception. Wow, he gets an 11. So I don't think he notices. He's just like, wow, you look like a scrub with a weird cloak. And he just shakes his head and goes back to looking.
Yeah,
at the-
Makaria takes it as flirting and waves.
All right, cool. All right, so you are now out here, out on the street outside the estate, and one of the guards like swings the gate shut, and you hear it click behind you, and he looks at you and he's like, "Get home safe. Keep your nose clean." And he turns around and goes back to his investigation.
That is the plan, officer. Please
Right.
let me know if you need anything.
Okay.
Red.
Yes.
There's something. I don't know whether it means
Is
that they
this
are.
something we should talk about now, or perhaps maybe 30 paces further away?
Is that how far?
Let's walk
you would go
towards
there?
Right, so Jewel, you kind of put your arm through it. I'm like, come along, buddy. All right.
I'd
Let's
love
wait.
to hear what you found, but I'd like to do it out of earshot.
Sure. Yeah, and that makes sense. So you start to walk away. And you find yourselves, like a few like it's late now, like quite late, and you find yourselves at some distance from the Growlhund estate. What do you have to say, 8?
Yeah.
I am not sure what conclusions to draw, but the room into which the burned man was attempting to break contained a teleportation circle. I mentioned it briefly.
Right.
See-
The Lord Growlhund said, "Oh, that came with the house. I never knew that's what that was for."
And I succeeded an insight check, so they follow up with, I questioned the Lord Growlhund. He lied about having no knowledge of it. I wonder if this connects why he came here. Perhaps was intending to use it to escape somewhere else.
Did it
Working
look?
with the Growlhunds.
Did it look any kind of? Did it look any kind of significant, like marking you recognize or something like that? Something that might be able to identify it as being to somewhere or one direction or both, or there's so many different kinds of teleportation circle. I'm just trying.
Right, like you're suddenly very interested, like, ooh, a teleportation circle.
It's more like I know about magic stuff. Like
Yeah.
this could be a clue I can tell you about if you know something.
I rolled an 18 Arcana, and that was to identify that it was in fact a teleportation.
Okay.
circle.
Yeah.
I don't know whether.
So I mean, Rin, you could make a roll just about teleportation circles in general.
Yeah, well, I mean, why not? While I'm
Okay.
here.
Sure.
I actually have Arcana. Yeah, hey.
Nice.
I don't have 15.
Okay, so a circle like this is conjured by a magic user, like a wizard of considerable power, right? You yourself will be able eventually someday with some work to be able to conjure up a circle like this. It's a 10-foot diameter circle on the ground, inscribed with sigils, and it links a permanent location. Whose sigil sequence you know, and on the same
Back and
plane of
forth.
existence. Yeah. So you stand in the circle, you say the magic word or you do the thing, and it teleports you to a place. So all that is needed to use one of these is to know the correct sequence of sigils. It's a permanent circle can be made by casting it every day for a year. Otherwise, it lasts very, very briefly. It only lasts for a moment. So the idea is like linking places up.
So here's what I have. If he told you the circle came with the house, that thing has been there for a long time, which means that somebody has cast that once a day for a whole year to make it a permanent fixture of the place. I know he was lying, but that's the kind of lie you come up with when you're like, oh, it's been here forever.
Yeah.
The issue is that if you knew how to activate it, anybody could activate it. So it isn't, it could be something innocuous, but it's expensive.
What it means is
And
that if
generally
Growlhund was
reserved.
lying, then it means that someone else inscribed this circle for him, and it like leads somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's either for someone to come to him or for him to go elsewhere.
The only reason you would have something like this is for sort of secret activity, leaving and coming back to your house without anybody ever knowing, or having visitors without them ever having to come in the front door. The kind of visitors you don't want people to see.
Lady Growlhund uses it to teleport back and forth from her boyfriend's house.
Yeah.
That was my assumption, that it was not, in fact, a kidnapping attempt or a ransom, as they supposed. There might have been some collaboration in the Fireball.
I agree, but somewhere there's a disconnect because the black-clad agents were fighting against the House Watch. If they were in collusion, then certainly that would have been not an issue. They would have just been let in and let through. Some sort of argument happened, or something of the sort. But this man, the burned man, knew about the circle. That's why he was trying to escape through it.
Could be.
Has to be.
Yeah, so the things that were in that room, were the Lord Growlhund, that was the room he was hiding in, the circle, and then those cages with the winged snakes.
Yeah. Creepy snake cages.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm sorry. How am I more lucid this week when I'm like on so much cold medicine? I didn't work out.
Wing snakes like the Zentarum?
Like the Zentarum? Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, that's when 8 makes a connection.
Literally, 8 makes a pinging noise and a light goes on.
Yeah. Oh. It was also in a room full of caged flying snakes. Yes. Yes, the connection to the Zentarum seems more and more evident.
Did we check any of the bodies? Were they definitely Zentarum?
I don't remember.
Some of the it wasn't the bodies that were it was the gnome. Was it the gnome that was Zentarum, or was it the bodies chasing the gnome?
Yeah, there were 3 people chasing the gnome, 2 of which died, 1 of which was your burned faced friend, and the 2 people with the burned faced guy were definitely Zents.
We don't know if any of the people attacking the Growlhunds were Zentarum. I don't think we had a chance to check
I think it's probably reasonable for you to assume that if they are on the same side or working for or with the burned faced man, that they are Zentarum as well. Yes.
Makaria like crosses her arms when they bring up the Zentarum, and she's just like, and looking very like, I'm not gonna help you. I don't know.
If the Growlhunds are working with the Zentarum, was all of this some weird stunt for them to not seem suspicious?
Why fight at all? They could have just had them walk in and disappear.
That's right. It is unusual. And if
far less suspicious.
If the guy, if the burnt face man stole something from the gnome, whence the object?
Did he ever get to use the circle? He was trying to break into that room, so it seems
he was kicking the door trying to get in.
The object is clearly in the Growlhund estate somewhere, and won't be for it's gone in the next hour when they decide to use the teleportation circle and take it somewhere else. Whatever was taken was important enough that when I asked about it, it was, oh, we don't know. We've never seen anything like that, which was
You're like your bullshit meter just off the charts.
Both of them were just bullshit meter the entire time. Like, oh, you're just lying to me, but I can't really call you on it because I don't have it.
May I offer, from a perspective of one who ascribes little to no value to human life, doing this as an alibi such that they could present themselves as being currently both indisposed and at odds with the Zentarum would remove all suspicion from their collaboration.
I just think that it seems like a lot of extra work to do.
Rich people are rich, and it seems
they also strike me as the people with disposable income and disposable people
The Lady Growhand had
with flair for the
Absolutely.
dramatic.
no regard for any of the dead, her servants or no.
Man, when someone like 8 tells you that you have no regard for human life, you know it's serious.
Yeah, I definitely picked up on her being.
I think there's like a sort of thinking about it moment, and then a shrug, and like, to know any more, we'd have to break back in, and I don't think that's a smart idea. Just based on
Fine.
I know, but just based on the city guard having found us at 2 separate crime scenes, a third, and I don't know that I can talk us out of it. You know?
Right. You go home and Barnabas and Cromley are there and like, well, come back to your own house, have you? So, I mean, I guess that's the question. So it's very dark. Saloon is out in her beauty, but the night grows long, and some of you are quite tired. Is it time to head back to Trollskull?
I think it is.
How late is it exactly?
Also, the gnome died, right?
It's late,
The gnome
it's
died
late
in the
o'clock.
explosion?
Yes, he
The
did.
gnome died.
Would the Yawning Portal still be open?
The Yawning Portal is a 24-hour establishment.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go
Wait,
with
who
there.
tends bar when it's not Durnan?
I don't know. Durnan probably has like a ring of never having to sleep.
That's a good point. Yeah,
right?
Durnan probably
Or
just
Durnan
comes by there
clone.
with a ring of plenty or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. A ring of eternal barkeeping. Well, also, I mean, he takes days off and stuff. So, like, there are other people. There are secondary bartenders.
Ah, yes, Durnan and his secondary barkeep, Steve.
Yeah, that's right. You're like,
Why
"What
is it always Steve?
Where's Durnan? And there's a guy behind the bar just like wearing like a Phillies cap. He's like, what's up? You need a beer?
He's got the same mustache as Durnan.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like-
Well, I'm not Durnan. Durnan takes a break. I'm Durnan's cousin,
Little more
Steve.
home.
Steve of Waterdeep. Yeah. Okay. So you want to? I guess you could head home. Eventually, Macario, you will have to sleep. Drinking is not the same as sleeping.
I mean, I will, but like, we went to the Yawning Portal like earlier, and Davil wasn't there.
Right. So you were thinking like talk to Davil.
Yeah, she wants to talk to Davil, and not with these 4 gray idiots around.
Damn. Okay. So are you like, yes, so what do you say? So it's like everyone kind of realizes it's late. I saw Jewel makes the big like cat yawn.
Yes, well, you go and rest.
You'll get the case of the zoomies because it's late at night.
Yeah. You get to see all her sharp teeth. Yeah.
You go and rest or whatever. I would rather drink, honestly. I'll come back home.
You're
later.
talking with Durnan, right?
What? No. What?
Not Durnan. What's his face? The pretty one.
Davil.
Davil. I don't know. The human names all sound the same to me.
It's true.
He's not
He was an
human, for one. He's an elf.
Okay,
And
well, he's
two-
not furry. So
Don't talk
not-
about my boyfriend like that.
He's not always there, you know. You know what is always there? Alcohol. Alcohol is always
you
there.
can go talk to him. That's fine. We don't mind. It's
by-
probably a good
by all
idea.
means, if you'd prefer to drink.
If this is a Zentarum thing, then we should.
I would always invariably prefer to drink.
Just know that whatever you do by yourself, we won't magically know you got stabbed. So
Or shot.
maybe
Like that one
steal
time.
less
You got
drinks.
shot.
I accept the pale hand of death, all right?
All right,
It's
well, I
fine.
accept your pale hand of death as well, to be honest.
Talk
I
to
like-
the pale hand. I'm out.
start walking away.
Okay.
Go drink. I don't care.
All right. So
Do
you
you want me to fix the cloak?
Oh,
right because Macario, you turn around. There's a big bloody hole in the back of your cloak. Like you took it off
now
a dead
that
person.
you mention it, yes, I would. Thank you, 8. And she does the like little like swoosh
Mhm.
because I got a crit last time. I'm really good at keep swooshing, and I like hand it to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think as they're walking back, Jules gonna ask Rin more about like teleportation circles and what she knows because. And I guess the main question, like, do you have to be a magic? Can anyone use them? Could I use that teleportation circle? Is he a magic user? The guy who got burned?
If you know the correct sigils, anyone can do it. If you know the series of activation symbols, it's possible for anyone.
Yeah, and like Rin, you were like probably forced to memorize a whole bunch of sequences.
I
for
know
Yeah.
so much about esoteric arcane bullshit.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of different symbols for a lot of different teleportation circles that lead to a bunch of different places that I can't go now.
Yeah, like with sufficient time and like reference material, you could probably figure out like where the teleportation circle goes generally. Like it's something that you've been forced to learn about. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, living with wizards. What can you do?
Yeah. All right.
Basically, it's you stand in the circle, use the things, and then Jewel goes into this like tangent of like, but which came first? If you have to transport to a circle, how did they get to the first circle if there wasn't one there?
And then you know where it's going to come out.
Right.
So
And
But there had to have been a circle there. And can
this
you make one
conversation
without one?
conversation is it's shown by a stationary camera, and both the video and audio slowly fade out as Jewel talks. And
like
so good.
Rin is happy to talk about
Yeah.
any of this for like hours if it comes up.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So the three of you head home, and Makaria heads for the Yawning Portal, and we will take a short break here. And when we return, we'll find out maybe what Davil knows. Who knows? We'll keep it up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Dive into a twisted maze of schemes and villainy as you race to claim the legendary fortune hidden somewhere in Waterdeep. Roll20's full digital conversion of Waterdeep Dragon Heist features 4 possible story paths, immersive features like dynamic lighting on all battle maps, and character sheets with one-click actions. Switch between story paths with the click of a mouse and enjoy the complete contents of this thrilling new Dungeons & Dragons adventure. Grab Waterdeep Dragon Heist today on the Roll20 Marketplace. Hello and welcome back, everybody, to Roll20 Presents Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So, I don't think that the compadres that return home encounter any tricks or trouble. There's nobody waiting to assassinate you when you arrive. The stink of burnt sulfur and the kind of sense of tension in the air, even this late at night, is still present. Right? There's a big burn mark. There's some blood stains. I think that the guard have, for the most part, left, but there's still a guard hanging around, just like keeping an eye on the scene of the crime. But you're able to return to your neighborhood and head into your dilapidated home and return to bed. Meanwhile, however, risking exhaustion, Macaria decides to, at whatever 3 a.m, head to the Yawning Portal, where she hopes to encounter Davil. So when you get there, Macaria, I mean, you've been at the Yawning Portal all hours of the day and night, right?
Many a time.
Yeah, you see, and this is like, I mean, I don't think that the Forgotten Realms have like they don't have like weekends in the same traditional way that we do, like times when it's busier or not. But it's quieted down in that most of the people who came here to get drunk did so and then went to bed or left. There are a few people still kind of like hanging around, drinking. Durnan has gone to bed. And so we just see, I don't know, there's like a different bartender. There's a young, like a half-elf woman, and she's tending bar when you arrive. The place is pretty quiet, but, you know, there's multiple layers. Do you search the place for Davil, or do you ask?
I ask.
Okay, who do you ask?
I go up to the bartender, and I plop down on one of the chairs, and I
the bartender is like side-eyeing you from across the bar. Like, you know that look people give you when they're like, do I recognize you from somewhere? So this bartender is just like looking at you.
Have you seen Davil?
And then kind of like is caught. And then she walks over and she says, I'm sorry?
Davil, Star Song. He sits over there. And I point like where I've seen him one time, which might not actually be where he always is, but.
And she says, yes, he was just here. He, she points. Up on the mezzanine. 2nd level, I think.
Oh, wow. Do you have... Well, you have it. Obviously, you're a barkeep. Can I have some wine? Does Davil have a tab? I'm here to see him. You can go on his tab.
The shot cuts to behind her shoulder, and she looks down, and under the bar, there is a hand-drawn picture of you that says, do not give free drinks to this woman. And she looks up, and she says, I am afraid you'll have to pay first.
Well, I'm not paying for it. Davil's paying for it.
I can't allow you to take drinks on other people's credit. But if you have silver...
Ugh. Durnan is always like this. And she like shuffles in her like bag and she like puts down, 2 silver for like the cheapest fucking wine. Okay. It's like, just please, I have a headache. Just give it to me.
Yeah. So she walks over.
That's called a hangover? Yeah, she has a hangover.
Pours some wine, and she comes back, and she says, the Church of Ilmater has a program. If you, and she puts the wine down and like slides it to you.
The Church of Ilmater? Really?
Yeah, he's got a suffering. It's fine.
A program for what?
If you find that you are overindulging. More often than
perfectly happy overindulging. Okay.
Of course. I thought I would mention you
run a bar and you're trying to get me to stop drinking. That's bad for business.
The Yawning Portal is more than just a bar. It's a gathering place for adventurers and misfits.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's already getting up and like turning around with her drink and like going up to the mezzanine.
And she just shakes her head. She's just like like goes back to her idle animation of polishing a glass. All right. So you head upstairs, and you see this level is pretty much abandoned to the point where when you come up the stairs, and this is maybe the most sober you've ever been climbing these stairs, you've fallen down them several times.
Oh, yes.
So as you reach the mezzanine, this area looks abandoned on purpose, and there's a gruff-looking man leaning on the post by the stairs, and as you come up, he gives you a look like, keep fucking walking.
Like walking past
Like,
him, or
go up
walking
the damn
stairs?
stairs. Like, this floor, we're using it.
Excuse me, but I'm here to see Davil.
You see Davil, like he's at the table with some other black cloaked individuals, and they're talking, and this person looks you up and down, and they're like, "No,
You mean no,
you heard me.
Davil?
Hey,"
She
and this is the
He's
big
the person that yells past the bouncer.
yeah, right. Hey, I know you. Hey, let me in. I'm with them.
yeah.
Okay, so Davil looks over. Make a persuade check.
Okay, fine. I'm with you guys, I swear.
You're trying to persuade
Okay.
Davil, not the bouncer.
Okay, well. Help me.
So Davil looks up, makes eye contact with you, and then looks away like he's never met you before. And the person in the way puts his hand like on your sternum and gives you a slight push backwards, like, no, this isn't happening.
I thought we were working together. I have information.
They shake their head. Davil's in a meeting. Take your wine, go upstairs, and piss off.
I want to kill him. Can I kill him?
No, I mean, yes, but like, if you want to keep playing this character, no.
Fucking do it.
Remember Durnan killing that troll? You want to be on the business end of that shit?
Jordan shows up, attacks you 4 times.
Yeah. Roll a die. We'll pick a random Forgotten Realms NPC to whip the shit out of you.
Drinks Jordan.
Yeah,
shows
exactly.
up.
You're like, you go to like draw your mace, and you turn around and you just see a guy draw 2 scimitars, and look at you like, I wish you would. I wish the fuck you would. His little cat's like, rear. Yeah. So
You know what happened to the last person that tried to bar my way? Well, you wouldn't, because they didn't live to tell the tale. Now let me through.
make an intimidation check at disadvantage.
God, I hate you so much.
Listen, I don't make the rules. I just enforce them.
Intimidation, you said?
So this level 3.
Two, I get a 2.
I'm well tough.
Elminster
I
shows
get a
up,
2.
greets you with one look.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So you get a 2, and the guard just shakes their head, and they're like,
I'm just a tiny little half elf that doesn't look intimidating at all.
and he looks down, and he's like, just go on upstairs.
I would throw this wine at you, but I just paid for it. Ugh.
Do you go upstairs? Do you just like keep stomping up the stairs?
There's no reason to go upstairs. I came here to see Davil.
Yeah, but now you got this wine you can drink, so you could at least go upstairs and sulk and drink it alone.
You don't think she can like just chug wine? She's one of those awful people that chugs wine. She doesn't care what it tastes like.
So what, do you just like threateningly drink the whole thing and then just like drop the glass on the floor and walk out?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's just like going upstairs, and you're just
I
like,
just stare directly at him and drink the entirety of my glass of wine and then just drop it.
okay.
Turn around.
They know better than to give you glassware, so it's in a metal cup.
Good.
So when you drop it, we cut down to
Clang,
a reaction.
clang, clang, clang.
Yeah, a reaction shot. It bounces down the stairs. And we cut to a reaction shot of the half elf at the bar, who's just like, like I could have been a cleric. And and the tough just looks at you like, I'm not scared of you.
Fine. I leave.
See, if you were 8, you could have crushed the metal glass.
I can't. I can't
Okay.
crush it.
Okay,
I
so
can't.
you
my head.
go back downstairs. Can you make a perception check for me real quick?
Fine.
Arcturus could have crushed the metal glass.
Arcturus could have done it. He was a strong boy. He had like 16 strength, which is twice as much as I have.
Nice. Okay. All right. So you managed to avoid. You were about to collide with someone at the front door, but you managed to like stop and like go around them. It's a big burly like warrior dude with like a tattoo on his face, and he's like, oh, excuse me, and he like sneaks past you, and you walk out. So are you going home? You go home, Makaria?
I guess.
Okay. All right. You head home. All right.
Pout the whole time.
So you get home, you get into bed with enough time not to have to risk the exhaustion, and you go to bed. So the next morning, I think, unless anybody, I guess 8, you're awake when this happens because you don't need like sleep or whatever, but everybody else is sleeping. It's quite early, like maybe around dawn, which is getting earlier and earlier every day. 8, you hear on the front door.
Okay. Have I had my like 6 hours ish?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll go down from my. Oh God, I've got a character downstairs, and I've got to be in my bedroom. There we go.
Okay.
Yes, I'll go downstairs. Do I feel my strength has returned to me on this day?
Yes, everybody is taking a long rest. Yeah.
Oh, I feel so much better now.
So, like, I would absolutely fucking love to be able to like get in a fight, several fights, no less, exhaust myself in battle, and then just like sleep it off. Like it's no problem. You're good. You wake up the next day, bam, problem solved.
Adventure.
So good, man. Physics in Dungeons and Dragons is totally different. Everybody's so resilient.
I mean, that's the thing. Everybody thinks like adventurers, to become one, you have to have like had your parents killed or have like a lust for adventure. The main requirement is you're really good at sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like,
that sleep is like
the best sleep. You get 10 hours of like REM sleep all night.
Yeah, and then your body regenerates perfectly as a result.
Yes.
Okay, so you you hear this like again from upstairs. This like.
Did you say upstairs? Sorry.
Like no, from like the front door of the bar. You're upstairs and you hear that.
Oh, right. Then I come down the outside stairs and walk around to the front to see who's there.
Okay. All right. Do you want to like look through the window first, or you just open the door?
Well, I'd be coming from outside.
Yeah,
so you can like look around. That's right. Because if this person doesn't know your house, they don't know that you don't live. It's such a weird establishment. Okay. So
We have to go outside to get to our kitchen.
yeah, you do. It's super weird. Okay, so you it makes midnight snacks very complicated. So you look down the down the side, and you see standing at your front door. They have their side to you. You see they're wearing like finery, not like dressed up finery, but like their clothes are of high quality. They're wearing leather boots. Their clothes are in like a or kind of like a orange and green. They're wearing like a tabard, and they don't have any servants with them. And as you track up from their nice boots, you see they have long, curly red hair. They have their back to you right now, and they're knocking nervously on the door. And when you come around the corner, they're like, and they like you can't see their face. They're just turned away.
Oh. So 8. So as not to scare them too much, does a facsimile of a cough.
You make a Pokemon noise. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So they turn, and at first you're like, "Oh, I know this person," and then it dawns on you who it is. It's Rainier Neverember. It's the nobleman that we saw way back in episode 1. So Rainier is he's standing there and he turns and he starts a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, and he looks at the door and like you're outside, and he says, I'm sorry to have. I know it's early. Might I come inside?"
Yes, I don't sleep.
Oh, that must be nice. Though lately I've been having trouble with it myself. And like, yeah, you walk over and you like open the door and you come inside.
Yeah, like I assume he expects me to have like a key.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've like got the locks changed yet, so I just like smack the door really hard.
Just push it. Okay. So the door opens and the two of you come inside, and he looks around and he says, "Oh, I don't know what I expected, but it's nicer in here than I thought."
Unfortunately, I can't offer you a drink yet. We have not the coin to resupply.
Oh, it's much too early for a drink.
So it's unusual that Macaria would already be 2 cups in.
Well, I mean, it depends. I understand that lower classes, especially in more backwater environments, have a hard time getting clean water, and so they drink beer all day. But it's not the same as the beer you'd get at the tavern. Listen, I'm not here to... Are your friends awake? I have some urgent business to discuss with all of you.
Yes, I will go and fetch them.
Thank you.
Please don't mind the fact that some things may move around. It is slightly haunted, I'm given to understand. And then I just leave before I can say anything.
Yeah, so he's in the tap room now, and he's just looking around like, oh God, please don't possess me or anything. So
Macaria is not awake, by the way. You said everyone was awake. She's
no.
not.
Eight said that, but I assume everyone's asleep except 8.
Yes.
So
Okay.
that would be a good guess.
Yeah.
Jill sleeps a lot, like more than she needs to.
So I'd probably start methodically with Rin in the den, being the first room I come up to.
Okay.
So you like knock on the door, or
Yes. Bam, bam, bam. I try and be gentle, but I'm just
there's a
General.
small degree of like pause between your knocking and you hear a voice from the inside be like, yes.
We have a noble visitor.
What? Like, there's a like rustling sound, and then to the door like opens a crack to C8, and Rin looks like a fucking banshee on the other side. Like,
Oh my God, awesome.
she's not prepared like at all, and she goes, "Get the others." I like closes the door and like, you just see her, like moving around in her room, like gathering things up, brushing her hair and fucking.
Oh, that's
messing
so
around.
good. So yeah, you just look kind of like crazed. Your eyes are a little bloodshot, hair all frizzled.
Yeah, she's like not ready.
Get out. Okay, all right. So Rin gets ready. 8. Who do you go wake up next?
Probably. I don't. Bleach, do you want to be in the scene, or should I just leave Macaria? Because Macaria.
No, you can
Wouldn't
wake
work.
her up. She's probably used to like just being like, okay, it's time to go. And she's like, huh? All right.
Yeah, because you're the next one up.
No, that's
So
fine.
I know that we said that Macaria was probably played by like late 80s, early 90s Winona Ryder, but I'm starting to think that Macaria is that drunk guy in the car in Wayne's World. What's that guy's name? And everybody keeps trying to prop him up, and then Bohemian Rhapsody comes on, and he's just like, yeah, and he knows all the lyrics, and he passes out again at the end. Macaria's that guy in this party.
Yeah, but Macaria, like when you come to Macaria's door and go to wake her up, it takes a little bit longer. You might even have to shake her, but she's one of those lucky people who has hair of a texture where it doesn't mess up when she sleeps. Like she just like is like, oh, right. And then like has the robe on from yesterday.
Oh, Macaria sleeps in her clothes.
Yeah, she sleeps in her
good.
clothes. She doesn't need to brush her hair. And she's like, what are we doing?
So instead of shaking you, because 8 has noticed that you don't like to be touched, he picks up the bed and like tips it slowly upwards until you like get out or
Okay,
fall off.
Macaria tumbles out of bed.
I mean, I don't mind being touched by like the Doombringer of Merkel. It's fine.
I
Oh
don't
my.
know that yet.
All right. Well, I tumble onto the floor and then like prop myself up. And I'm like, oh, is it time already? What are we doing? Where are we going?
Mr. Neverember, Lord something Neverember, downstairs.
Are you sure it's not Floon?
Yes.
Haha, it was me all along. Flood Blackbar. No, it's actually Rainier Neverember. You're fine. You're safe.
All right. Well, does he wants to speak to us? All of
He seemed more out of sorts than usual.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll just go down there then. The rest of them coming too. Did you wake up Rin?
I think it was Rin.
You hear like a bird make a screeching sound from Rin's room.
Followed by like, later. We'll talk later.
So we cut to your room, Rin, and you're being like you're getting ready. Do you have your unseen servant like helping you?
Yes, I have used a spell slot,
Nice.
Adam, to quickly summon an unseen servant.
Nice.
Who is currently brushing my hair,
Tangles in your hair?
like
Cool.
pulling a brush through my hair while I'm gathering clothes up.
Yeah, and the raven is sitting on your like whatever you're passing for your like your vanity, and it's just like messing with your stuff, like flipping over your makeup and like digging through looking for shinies.
Oh, can we not do this a little later? I have a guest. I have a guest downstairs, please.
It's fine, Rin. I'll take care of it. I say through the door, and then she has to like hurry even more.
Right, Rin is like, oh god, for every second Makari is left alone with an important NPC, you're in danger. All right, so 8, you want to head upstairs?
I think on the heels of that, like it's all right, it'll be fine. She just like grabs the cloak, puts it around her shoulder, and like leaves the room immediately, like to follow Makaria, though she's like a little bit unprepared, and the unseen servant is still brushing.
Right, like the comb is still in your hair and moving. And,
yeah.
Okay. All right, 8. So you head upstairs to the attic.
Yes. And then to wake up finally, Jewel.
Okay. So you just like knock on the door, or?
Yeah. Bonk, 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 bonk.
Jewel, you inside the room, like the thing that cats do when you wake them up, or touch their feet, and she just like twitches a lot, and then like gets up and opens the door. Did I oversleep again?
No, there isn't early. Everybody else is going downstairs.
She closes the door behind her, and inside you realize like she doesn't have a bed, she just has a pile of stuff.
Yeah,
she's
the softest garbage you could find in the storage room.
The softest things are her bed. That's what she sleeps on.
Awesome. That's so good.
And she will go downstairs.
Excellent. Okay, cool. All right, so you head down the stairs, and we cross fade to, or cut to, the scene at the biggest table. So Rainier is there, everybody's around the table, and he's in the midst of sort of apologizing. He says, when I woke up this morning, I have people in the city who keep an eye on things for me, and I was going through my morning news, their reports, and they told me that there was a fireball that had erupted near your home, and I was worried you had been hurt. I rushed over here as soon as I could. I'm glad to see that you're all. And he looks at everybody. Yeah, okay, you're all okay. I'm glad to hear that you're all right. I've taken something of a liking to you after your help. It would have broken my heart if something bad had happened to you. What's going on? Can I help?
Well, I'll tell you everything that we know, and then we'll see if you can help us. But wait, stop that.
Get right in, like getting some rouge put on your face.
Here's what we know. A gnome carrying something was killed outside of our, just out the front there, with something explosive, a fireball or something that can create a similar effect. He's being chased by some Zentarum, and one of them got away with some injuries, took something from the gnome, and escaped. There were also reports of a mechanical man on the roof above where the explosion happened. Not this one, obviously.
Yeah, he's like, no.
And then we tracked the one who got away, and it led to the Growlhund estate.
When you say Growlhund, like you see him like sneer a little.
We made our entrance to see if we could follow him, and ended up in a conflict with a bunch of what I can only assume are Zentarum thugs. The item, whatever was stolen, gone. The burned man now in the custody of the City Watch, and us not being able to have really investigated the estate very much, aside from teleportation circle that 8 saw. That's everything.
Yeah, and he's nodding and listening, and he says, it was a gnome, you said.
Yes.
Oh, dear. Well,
Do you know this person?
I do. Now, you may or may not know the Lords of Waterdeep ousted my father. He used to be the Open Lord. It's a bit of an embarrassment, but when they got rid of him, I thought that his long, dark shadow was gone for good, that I could move on with my life, but his spies hound me. One of them, a gnome named Dalakar, he's been watching me for months. He thinks I don't know, but I know. I have spies of my own.
Dalakar, you say?
No.
The notebook
Yeah,
out.
he nods. Yeah, Dalakar. It's about 10 days ago, Dalakar vanished. I haven't seen him in weeks. I thought my father had given up, but apparently not. So when Dalakar disappeared, I asked around. Apparently he was on some special mission to retrieve the Stone of Galore. And he was afraid the
Can I make
Zentarum...
an Arcana check on Stone of Galore?
Yeah, do it. Totally do it.
Okay. Arcana.
Make a history check.
Yeah, you can make a history check, Joel. Sure. Everybody's
I
like...
know about shiny
Yeah,
things.
everybody is watching him talk, and then, like, there's a tooltip over Stone of Galore, and everyone's like, ooh, I'm going to hover that.
Cover that.
Makaria asks him if he'd like a drink while she pours one for herself.
Okay. All right, so let's see. How do we do on those rolls? A 16, Jewel?
22.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that information in just a second. So he says, apparently, he was on some sort of special mission to retrieve the Stone of Galore, and, well, he was afraid the Zentarum and the Xanathar Guild were close to catching him. When he heard about my kidnapping, he wanted more information about the adventurers who'd rescued me. I think Dalakar was planning to pay you to deliver the stone to my father in Neverwinter. Apparently that didn't go so well for him. So let me see if I can find the Stone of Galore and see parse out what you might know about it.
Oh my god, are we going to heist it? Is this going to be a heisted object? I'm so excited.
Is it in the shape of a small dragon?
It is not. No. I I mean, maybe it is. You don't know what it looks like.
I mean, that's why I was like, it's it's dragon.
The Stone of Galore.
The gnome works for the Lord Neverember or the Son Neverember?
Lord Neverember. Okay. Yeah, it works for Dad. So, Lord Neverember, and I think maybe we talked a tiny bit about this back in chapter 1.
Yes.
Yeah, so Lord Neverember was the open lord. There's like secret lords and there's the open lord. There's always like an open, like the person who's the
like
public
the
face.
Yeah,
and Lord Neverember was kicked out of his job for extortion, for stealing from the city of Waterdeep. And nobody ever found all of his money.
Sweet embezzlement.
That's right. He's an embezzler, and he was kicked out. And he fled.
His treasure.
Yeah. So the stone of Galore, now, is connected to him, and I think that's probably, like, the name itself doesn't like trigger anything. I think like the situation kind of all like falls together. But I mean, you could ask. You could ask him about it. Like, for you don't know who Galore is or what this stone is, and it doesn't tie into any particular like story you already know. But apparently, yeah, the Lord Neverember was a big old embezzler, and he hid away all of his embezzlement money before he fled, and it hasn't turned up. Most people assume he took it with him, but maybe
Could I redo my guess?
Sure.
This stone has got something to do with that, and that's what we want to heist. All this embezzled money.
I'm assuming that this is the history check, Adam. Is there anything for the Arcana, or is it just
Yeah, let me take a look. So, yeah, I think for Arcana, you would know the name Galore. You remember reading once about a Galore. There is you maybe you thought it was the name of the monster, but it was a page in one of your former master's books, and it had a picture of what looked like an enormous like cave fish with like tentacles coming off of it. And you remember the word Galore on that page somewhere. You don't remember the context, but yeah, it has some connection to that.
Okay.
That
cool.
particular thing.
So, the stone, why is it important? I ask.
Yeah, Renier, he gives you a look like he wishes he had an answer for you. So he's like, it's important to my father. Otherwise, he wouldn't have risked it. I guess he thought that he could send one of his servants to you. I mean, he can't come back to Waterdeep, obviously. So any of his assets that haven't already been seized, well, he'd need to sneak them out.
To find them, assumedly.
And he
So
nods.
the orb used to belong to him.
He nods. He says, my father owned several unusual properties, but the Stone of Galore...
if I had to venture a guess, Lord Neverember, I would think that this stone probably helps us locate some of your father's goods.
Hey, he shakes his head and he says, not my father's, the city of Waterdeep.
Well, that is what I mean.
The legal distinction, I assure you, I have been reminded of many, many times. The amount of time I've had to spend with the watch. I swear to you, I have no idea where my father's gold is, in case that wasn't already clear.
I believe we've had that conversation.
And he nods and he says, I've had to defend my own and my family's honor so many times these last months. It's become tiresome.
Having a family seems like a lot of work.
He laughs. He laughs when you say that as if it's a joke. Like, yes, like apt. That's funny. It's true.
Jewel just nods like, yep, family.
Right? Everybody's got some stuff.
Mutters.
Yeah.
Galore is a creature, obviously. The one Rin's just kind of talking to herself, trying to like work back through the book and try and see if she can recall the page, sort of thing. But she doesn't really get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have reason to believe, and they stop before revealing the conclusions that they drew the previous night, in case Rin had been withholding that.
Right. So do you look at Rin like, well, better not say anything.
Wait, so
she notices that you like stop. Oh yeah, no, go with.
I guess if 8 speaks first, but that's Jules' question. Will at some point be, why are you telling us this?
We'll do this in order then.
Yeah. Okay.
So, 8 stops, looks at me, and I look and go, an ally. Feel free.
Reason to believe that the Zentarum now have the stone.
He, Renier, when you say that, he nods and he says, well, I mean, someone has it. It's been changing hands. You think the Zents have it now?
Yes, I believe that
we didn't.
Lord and Lady Growlhund were working with them and now have the stone.
That makes sense. He points and he says, there's been rumors connecting the Growlhunds to all sorts of unsavory business. The Black Network, some kind of cult. They travel in unsavory circles. Now, I know I'm not one to talk. I'm a member of those supposedly unsavory circles, so... But still, the Growlhunds, they're of a different sort. If you ask me, anyway. I never liked them.
Wait, which circles?
Well, the unsavory type. I mean, there's nobles that try to do well by others and donate their gold to the churches and fund festivals and what have you.
And then there's quarters.
Well, there's people like the Growlhuns who, under the auspices of giving everyone a fair opportunity, they invest their business all over the place.
And you do as well?
No,
I think that's what you just said.
It's not. It's complicated. You have as much money as I do. I
have never had that much money in my life.
Well, consider yourself lucky. Now, I know that sounds like a privileged thing to say, but a bad reputation and a whole lot of money is not anything that I would wish on anyone.
Well, I already have one of the two, so I would really like the second.
Regardless, that's something to go on, at least the name of the object that we're looking for.
The Stone of Galore is... Well, I fear that whoever has it, they're on their way to recover my father's money now. And that much money, Waterdeep's money.
I was going to say, the city of Waterdeep.
That much money in the wrong hands, well, it can be destabilizing. Dangerous, even.
I suppose this would make what the Growlhuns did make more sense. If they wanted to get that stone, then doing it under the cover of them being attacked would certainly erase most of the suspicion from them.
So you think it's in the hands of the Growlhuns now?
Or in the hands of whoever is on the opposite end of that teleportation circle.
Yeah. The Growlhuns, I'm sure, are going to get something out of it. Maybe they're just using the Zentarum, and that's not even the people who are behind it.
He laughs when you say that. Like, it's a dark laugh. Like, not you said something funny, but like, oh. And he shakes his head and he says, don't underestimate the Zentarum. They may be common thugs on the streets, but their tendrils reach deep.
In the sheet? Wait, she like hears it.
Thugs in the streets, political manipulators in the sheets. So, yeah.
They're jerks.
And he says,
often,
especially in the case of people like the Growlhuns, if you think you're the one pulling their strings, it's quite the opposite. And not to say that I think the Growlhuns are innocent, just that it's like to go deeper than that. They're not clever enough to manipulate the whole Black Network, especially not in a city as big as Waterdeep.
No, I'm sure they think they are, though. They strike me as those sorts of people.
You don't know a lot of nobles, do you?
No, but I know famous people.
Well, they're more or less all like that to some degree or another.
Mm-hmm. Great, you included.
I was going to say, it turns out having resources gives you a certain point of view.
So what are we going to do about this?
My thoughts is, if we ask about the Stone of Galore, we may be able to find out more about it, its capabilities, and what it may be able to do in the hands of somebody who now has it. The place I would think to go for that is, of course, Blackstaff Tower.
They probably know some stuff.
About anything we could ask about.
Renier scowls slightly when you say Blackstaff Tower. He tries to hide it, but he has a reaction he can't hide and then tries to pass it off and hopes no one notices. But you do.
Something the matter with that?
I don't know that I trust the Blackstaff is all. That kind of power, independent of any government control. It just seems irresponsible.
To be honest, any wizard of that caliber isn't in the control of anyone else. Let's dispense with that idea entirely.
I mean,
so
we also
wherever we went to wouldn't really matter.
Your father as the government didn't. I feel like governments are just as bad.
Hating nods.
Yeah, Renier sighs
We just shouldn't trust anyone.
My dad ruined my life, and here I am in this shitty bar with these weird people who admittedly saved me, but he has a moment of God, my life is so hard.
All I'm saying is that that's where I would follow up the lead. Somewhere where we might acquire more knowledge about the subject.
Renier says, I have contacts myself, people I can talk to about this. Give me a day or so. I'll put the word out about what happened, what you've learned, and see what we can turn up.
Yes, investigate. I think that'll work. We can give you some time and sort things out here.
Yeah. So he stands up when you say that, and he says, I'll see to it at once. If you'll excuse me.
And I stand when he stands,
Mhm.
by the way.
Yeah.
And I give him a sort of like, head, like not bow, but like nod.
Mm-hmm.
It's like pleasure.
And before he leaves, he takes a few steps into the tap room. Before he leaves, he turns and he looks at you with a look of like almost regret on his face, and he says, "As thankful to you as I am for rescuing me the other night, saving me from these Zentarum, I fear you've just cursed yourself. My father's hand leaves black stains on anyone he touches."
Thankfully, 2 out of 3 of us at least, or 2 out of 4 of us at least, black's our color.
And he smiles and he says, "Hell, I hope you can keep your humor up. I fear things are going to get more complex before they... No need to think about it that way. I'll return as soon as I learn anything."
See what you can find out, come back to us.
Okay.
Don't do anything that will put you in a vast amount of danger.
All right, he leaves. You're alone in your dilapidated house.
So, what do you think? I say,
Why is it better that this Rainier fellow have all that money than that the Zentarum have that money? I mean, honestly, like nobles have been running the city. What?
What if we had all that money?
Yes, I would like that. That's a great idea. How do we do that? I wasn't really listening.
I think we
money
get the
belongs
orb.
to the city.
So what?
Well, it doesn't technically belong to
What
them
is this?
anymore.
What has
Once
the
it's
city ever
embezzled,
done
it's
for
not theirs.
you, Rin?
It provides me with a place to live.
Okay, Volo provided you with a place to live.
A lot of money could probably do that too.
Probably right.
And then you could finally go to wizard school.
Look at all these chickens we're counting. Look at them all. Look at these
You could
chickens.
finally go to wizard school. She like gets a pained expression at that. Like,
I think Jewel doesn't quite understand how Rin feels about wizards. I think she just really wants to be one.
I'm sorry, Harry. You
great
can't
part, but
afford
then
to go
you
to
also-
Hogwarts because we've been paying taxes.
well, it is a little
Libertarian
bit like
Harry
that,
Potter.
where you're like, you go to wizard school, and she's like, they apparently not smart enough for that. Like a little embarrassed.
Well,
there-
you know,
don't you
dear,
say
plenty of dumb rich people get whatever they want. So I'm sure if you were rich enough, you could do whatever you wanted to.
You're smarter than any wizard I've met. Most wizards just run into trouble and die right away. It's the cough from
It was the ghost. Yeah, the ghost just sneezes when you say that.
I think
Dust
I
blows
may-
off the countertop.
I think I may know a few, slightly more wizards than you. Just in terms of successful ones. Anyway,
So let's talk as players about the options laid before you go to our next break. So right now the one big loose thread is the mechanical man, right? The person who was present at the scene, who executed the fireball situation. That's one thread. Where did that mechanical person go? The second thread is like the teleportation circle, right? And the Growlhunds, like their house particularly, but you got to know they're going to be on high alert now.
there's no way we can break back
It's
into
going to
their
be
house.
very
Yeah.
difficult to get back in there.
It's not gonna happen.
And then also, yeah, you could just wait and see what Rainier turns up. Also, you could go to Blackstaff Tower and be like, "Yo, here's what we know." Or Makaria, you could try again to get in touch with Davil.
Now that he's not talking to confidential people or whatever.
Yeah, he was in the middle of a thing and you failed to roll.
But okay. But he insulted me.
Mm-hmm.
Is this what it takes for Makaria to turn from the Zents? Just one insult?
One
from-
insult. Oh,
She's-
Makaria is going to be that character that has renown 1 with every faction because she's just like, they were mean to me once. Fuck them. I'm going to go join the Lord's Alliance. No? Fine, I'm a Harper now. Yeah, you like that? I'm going to become a druid. I don't care. Emerald Enclave for life.
I'm a druid.
Emerald Enclave.
Yeah, Makaria has all these like the double E. So Makaria has all these like badass tattoos with lines through them, like I heart the Zentarum. Nope, fuck those guys. I'm a Harper now. Yeah, perfect.
If you have a tattoo, I'm a Harper now. You can't-
Obviously, no, that's
Yeah,
the
but see,
thing.
eventually what she does is you get the tattoo, but then you just cover it over like fully black.
I
And
mean,
so eventually
honestly, Elf, we know
Black
this.
tattoo.
We know this. The Harpers are the least secret society in all of Faerun.
They're the
Like-
best. I
Harpers,
love them so much. They're just such a bunch of idiots.
Hi, my name's Adam. I'm a Harper. I shouldn't have said that. Can we let's start over. Hi,
I
I'm
mean, that
Adam.
was-
I'm
that
not a Harper at all.
That
Let me
was
just
entirely the
fold this
security
Harper
guard.
pin over. How are we?
Just be a fucking really
Yeah.
loud Harper.
So I feel like Jules definitely of the mind like we should get the orb. That seems exciting. It's an object that we know we can get.
Well, it's a named
to.
magical item. I want it now. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then probably also the mechanical man. Like 8 was really interested in it and they kind of botched it earlier. So like anything they can do for that is probably something she'd be interested in too.
Mhm.
I think waiting for Rainier is not a cats are not patient.
I think to a certain degree, if we don't find anything, then waiting gives us something that we can then pull on.
But we should look
we
like
can ask a few
active
people
waiting.
a few things, certainly.
active waiting.
I realized that there may have been a witness that I can talk to the whole fireballing thing in my room right now, messing with my shit. So I am finally gonna go talk to that bird.
Okay, all right.
Wait,
so you want to
before
talk to the
you
bird?
go.
Yep.
Yes.
How much money did you get? I'm still looking to make this purchase.
Which
Remember
which one?
when the noble she gave you a bag of gold,
Oh right,
a
yeah,
bag of coins? You want to take a look at it?
yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you remember it, and you like take it out and open it.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's about like 20 silver in there.
Oh, that sucks.
It's not good enough hush money.
It's a bit
That's yeah. I mean, all
Barely a
that-
good bottle of wine.
all that means is I'm just gonna like talk about their shit everywhere. Like it's fine.
I mean, she doesn't
You're gonna-
know. She's a
you're gonna
noble. She just gives you whatever she
gonna
thinks
pay
poor
hush
weirdos
money.
want.
How much does this cost?
Exactly, right? You could go buy a banana. It's fine.
How much is a banana? 20 silver.
Go see a Star Wars.
Yeah, so there you go. Okay, so you get your tiny pile of silver. All right, well let's take our second break here, and when we get back, Randy, you can commune with nature, and we can decide what we want to do while we wait for Rainier to return with some information from his mysterious friends. Stick around. We'll be right back. This stream is brought to you by Roll20, an easy-to-use virtual tabletop dedicated to making tabletop RPGs accessible to everyone. Join the adventuring party at roll20.net. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Roll20 Presents Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So, Rin, you've been waiting a long time for this conversation. You've been waiting to have this talk for a while.
I want to talk to this bird.
So we'll fade in on you, and you're in your
Anybody else coming to talk to this bird with
room.
me, or am I by myself? No? Okay.
Yeah. So you're in your room, and
Yeah.
there is a large black feathered bird sitting on. You don't have any furniture. Like everybody's sleeping on the floor and stuff.
Pretty much.
So
yeah,
it's like
bedroom.
sitting on the mantelpiece of your fireplace, and it just kind of looks at you, and you come in like, "What are you doing?"
I'm I got to cast Speak with Animals, so I can do it as a ritual. So I've got a little bit of time. I can do it in 10 minutes. Sort of set things up and
So you get that
that's-
look the whole 10 minutes. That like,
yeah, like what are you up to?
The
I'm
hell's
watching
going on
you,
over
kind
here?
of bird head tilting look. Yeah. And after that she like stands back up,
Mhm.
having like been concentrating, like cross-legged, and walks over to the mantelpiece.
Okay.
And or where the raven is perched.
Okay.
And when she speaks, it is in cause, as would be familiar to this raven. But of course she hears back common, in that way that magical translation must do, you know? And so she asks, how long have you been here?
And the bird kind of blinks and like extends up a little, like, what? And it looks and it says, oh, so you're not completely foolish after all. I was wondering when you were going to stop with all that human speak nonsense.
I agree. It can be a little complicated and annoying to deal with. But now we can talk like proper equals here. I know that you were here before I was, so I'm just wondering how long you've made this place your home.
Long enough to know that it belongs to me. Me and the ghost downstairs, anyway. But we've agreed we're going to tolerate your presence for now.
Do you speak to the ghost or have any interaction with him?
Of course, we're roommates after all, and have been for some time.
I see. I don't suppose you saw anything before that explosion, did you?
All that noise and ruckus the other day.
Or after?
No, I try to avoid loud noises, things like that. I'm always being chased away. I've got a good thing here. No need to go sticking my beak in other people's business.
And certainly I'm not planning to chase you out. I'd much rather have you here. More company, the better.
I should say not. I've done you the honor of allowing you to sleep in my room.
Exactly.
Good, I'm glad we're in agreement.
I know how it is to need a little bit of your own personal space. It can get a little prickly when things are moving around a lot. I appreciate that you let me share yours.
And it gives you an imperious, like, yes, very good.
Mm.
Little nod of the head.
Yes. So is there anything about this house that I should know other than the ghost, obviously, if we're going to be roommates, that is?
Well, you've missed out on the best part. You and your friends have ransacked every other room in the house. I was trying to show you the other day, but... And he looks over towards the tower. You haven't even seen the top floor.
There's further to go?
A trapdoor in the ceiling of the other room.
Oh. Well, that could be useful. Why don't you show me where?
For me, it's out the window and then up. But for you, with your arms and your legs, you'll have to climb.
Rin like almost sighs regretfully at
Yeah,
that. Like,
right.
used to be very similar to you some time ago. Wings much more convenient. So where is the trapdoor? In the ceiling here, or
It gestures to the with his head towards the tower, and then flies out the window.
Yeah.
And then around and back in the other window because he can't open the door and the door's shut. So he just goes outside and comes back inside and waits for you. So you open the door and he's just sitting there on one of the like broken pieces of furniture you haven't thrown out yet. And he looks up and he says, right up there.
Well, all right. Might be a little bit of a climb, I suppose.
And he looks at you like that's a word he doesn't know.
Without wings, I have to get up there somehow, which means going up the side or stacking things or using rope or something like that.
It must be so hard to be you.
Oh, it is very frustrating, yes.
Well,
It's been a while since I've been this frustrated by it, in fact, and talking to you brings things back, all I have to say. Wizards. And like how far up is it?
you can't reach it standing.
I can't reach it.
Yeah, and there's no little dangling like thing. You could install one, but like you see the trapdoor now that you look at it.
Okay.
Eight might be able to reach.
Yeah, I say, excuse me for just one moment. I'll be right back.
You are dismissed.
And I leave on the dismissal and go to find wherever 8 is, whatever 8's doing.
Okay. Where is 8? 8, are you in the study? Are you reading your chivalry book?
I'm finishing. I've got the library door, the library windows open, and Makaria's new cloak is like tied up and like drying off like, in the window. So I turn around like I've just hung it over like a string or something I put on the sill.
Okay.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Is it still red?
Yeah. I mean, it's like a different color of red. It was like a filthy red before.
I just wonder if 8 had the presence of mind to dye it black. That's all.
Oh, I don't imagine.
I don't have any dye right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I find you there, and I go, 8. If I might have just a moment of your time, if you're not busy.
Not really.
Please come with me. There's a door we haven't looked in.
Interesting.
My new friend, whose name I have to ask, very impolite of me not to do so,
Yes.
found, or knew of this trapdoor. So come to the tower and see if you can open it. At the very least, I can't reach it. It's the issue.
Okay.
And so we like go back.
Okay.
Yeah, go back over to the tower with 8.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you come back in.
All right, I brought help.
Yes, I see it. Now.
Yeah, you want to reach up and you can get your fingers in there and pull it open. Yeah, you can reach it. You're tall enough. While you're doing that, the bird is making a bunch of noise. Rin, you understand that noise. So he's saying to you, he's like, it's always important to have good servants, useful tools to solve problems for you. But I have to tell you, and we need to talk about this, I don't feel comfortable having a cat in the house.
She's a little bit unsettling, isn't she?
You have
and
no
I'm speaking
idea.
in like Raven language here,
Yeah.
back to him, like cawing at this bird. A little bit unsettling, but she's really very friendly, honestly.
The
as to the
knife,
point
the
about-
knife is always pretty till you find it in your back.
Well, I'll make sure that she knows of your discomfort. Shall I?
No, don't do that. She'll think me weak, and then come stalking in the night.
Yes, good point. Good point. I haven't asked, and I should have earlier in this conversation, but what is your name, sir?
Like cocks his head. What do you mean?
Oh, I suppose it is a silly question, isn't it? What should I call you?
It's just
Were
kind of
I
like,
had I the need to call you out individually from a group of similar creatures? what word would I use?
It's just kind of like the whole concept of having to have like a unique identifier just doesn't make any fucking sense to it.
No.
And it's just kind of like, what? I don't. You're speaking
Never mind.
nonsense.
Human contrivances. My name is Rin. Doesn't matter. I, like turn back to 8. Like look up at the trapdoor. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and so eight has opened
Much
it, and it's one of those trapdoors that's like flush with the ceiling, but when you tilt it, the ladder, there's like a ladder that 8 can pull
Okay.
down.
Sorry. Yeah. I suppose we should take a look. Like
8, you're pretty sure if you try to climb this ladder, the ladder would break.
Yeah. I'll wait here to see what you find. That
All
is thin wood.
I'll take a look and climb up the ladder if I can.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you climb up there. So you find yourself in the turret peak. So this is small, little, like not even a room.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Like a little...
But yeah, it's like there's windows. They're shuttered on all sides. There's like a peaked ceiling. I'm gonna try and find the picture of Troll Skull Manor so we can kind of see it. Yeah, you can totally see it in that picture. So it's that thing up front. That's where your room is, the one down by that green little turret up there. So it's got that window in the front. And so I'll show chat. Here, chat, check it out. There it is. So yeah, so you can see it's this little bit kind of right up front in the center. And yeah, and from up here, if you open the little like windows, you can look out and you have like the best view from all of Troll Skull Manor. And it's like a little nest. It's small and it's high up. And like you can look down and you see people walking around in the street and they're like, 40 feet away down below. So, yeah, how do you respond? What do you do?
Rand sort of like looks, like opens the shutters and sees all this out in front of her and like looks down and everything. And then, like almost steps like a little bit too far forward. There's a moment of like, oh, I'm up high.
Mhm.
Like, and it's really like, it's sort of exciting, and she steps a little bit too far forward. And like one of her feet goes slightly over the edge of the possible floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then she realizes kind of like that she's moved a little bit too, because she's trying to like not see the house, right?
Yeah.
Like put that away. I want to just see like out and high,
Mm-hmm.
And then sort of like realizes what she's doing and steps back, and the moment sort of passes. And she looks down the ladder and just says, it's just a window, basically, a small room up here. You can see a lot from up here, but other than that, nothing special.
There's a fluttering of feathers as the raven lands on the windowsill and looks up at you and says, "There we are. Now you know. You've got the tallest tower in all the building, which makes you the boss. I mean, under me, of course. You can be the boss of your ugly friends."
They say to know how to lead, you have to learn how to follow first. Have you done any following?
Kind of like looks at you. Of course not.
Well, I've spent a great deal of time studying under great teachers. And so I suppose another teacher is just fine.
Yeah. And it kind of like nods and like puffs its chest up a little bit, and it says, "Well, your lack of feathers is a bit disturbing, but we'll see what we can do with you."
I did have feathers, I'm familiar with feathers. 10 years of feathers. Just like you.
And it just gives you a look like, "I'm sure. You're just saying that to seem cool."
Like rolls her eyes a little bit like, okay, believe me or not, I get your smug tone. Like, go back down the ladder and
Okay.
And like
Cool.
leave it sort of with the ladder down so I don't have to.
You can climb back up there, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're sure you still want that strange looking peg creature?
It's a bird. It's a bird. 8. Raven. And yes,
It has
yeah,
evil eyes.
They're very intelligent and very familiar to me.
It's a good joke. All right. So, Rin, take inspiration, obviously
Sweet.
for that. Makaria and Jewel, what are the two of you doing
Yeah.
while Rin is getting this room?
Sorry, that one took a little.
Square.
I'm trying to
No, it's
tempt
cool.
Jewel into day drinking with me.
You're like, what should we do today while we wait for this guy to come back? And you're
Oh,
just
look,
like,
I have this bottle right
yeah, you're
here.
like, just get fucked up.
I think Jewel doesn't take a ton of convincing for like a drink, but she will not consume nearly as much as
Okay. Can I make a sleight of hand check to try and just like keep filling your drink when you're not looking,
I feel
so
like
that you're drinking more than you think you
I
are?
feel like that probably wouldn't work. Like you'd notice at some point. Like
I mean, I know it's not gonna
Oh,
work.
is my drink full after I drank some of my drink?
yeah,
No.
like Makaria, don't bother rolling, but you can think you're being sneaky. Sure.
Okay, I'm thinking I'm being. I mean, I have a -1 to sleight of hand anyway,
Yeah, you're already terrible.
but I just wanted to try. It's fine.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just trying to get someone drunk with me. I'm feeling lonely, and the ghost won't drink. So.
Yeah, it's a ghost.
And
It can't.
and I definitely do. I get out. I assume by now we have like glasses, or I've
No,
obtained glasses.
you haven't bought anything. You still live
What are you talking
in
about? Where
No.
like
you still live in a shithole. You haven't spent any of your money to make it better.
wow, rude.
You don't just spontaneously get stuff. Like try moving into a house and not have any furniture and just wait for it to spontaneously
I
appear.
definitely think one of my downtimes is going to be, or downtimes, quote unquote, but like while we have some time, is going to be to go to the furniture guy. I've got like 100 gold.
I can't have like bought.
No, I mean you can, but you have to spend money for that. You can't just have it for free.
Okay, well, how much is a fucking set of glasses?
Like regular, just like glassware. I mean, it's not mass produced, so it would be more. Glass is more expensive. Do you want glass? Or you want to buy like?
Does this module not
tankards?
come with a list of how much money you need to spend to upgrade?
It does.
your house?
It tell yeah, but it's not as granular as do we have cups.
Do you know what else does that is Adventurers League legal? Is Durnan's Guide to Tavern Keeping on the DM's Guild.
Does it have individual cup prices?
All of this shit.
Oh
yeah,
man,
like
I gotta get a hold of
everything.
that. All right, we're gonna put a pin in Makari's plan, and I'm gonna make a note to pick that up.
Cool. Then I don't have cups. Fine. I fuck all of this. I don't care.
Just cranky. Listen, it's not my fault
Aw.
you're hungover all the time.
You just drink from a bottle.
I'm
Okay.
trying to share with a ghost. You can't ask a ghost to drink from the bottle. Elf.
I just
Come
might not
on.
work very well.
Jewel will watch most of this with humor and is just probably antsy because she's like, I can't go to the Blackstaff on my own, and Rin's talking to a bird, so I probably shouldn't be there.
Oh, you want to go to the Blackstaff? I'll go with you.
So she's probably just cleaning. I think that's Jewel's just cleaning. That's what they do when there isn't anything else to do.
Are you sure you don't want to go to the Blackstaff with me?
I feel like we should all go to the Blackstaff together.
Well, that sounds boring.
Wow.
I love that the presence of myself in 8 is boring.
Well, I mean, you know as well as I do that Rin is the talker and doesn't let Makaria get into any kind of trouble. So,
Sorry, that's because you're gonna try and sneak onto their roof.
what? No, that's what you talk.
We all know you
What
just
we
want to
should
go there
do
because you
is
think you're
plan
gonna
a
see your dead
long-term
boyfriend.
Where we steal you a griffin and then you can just fly to their roof.
Yes, can we do that right now?
You can think about it.
I want a griffin.
Do you have what's your bonus to animal handling? Like -2?
My bonus to animal handling is 3. Excuse me, I have wisdom.
Makaria is killed and eaten by a griffin. Okay.
+3, not -3.
It's fine. Listen, the goblin's got like 30 dexterity. You'll never catch him. All right. So you have this day. What does the group decide to do with their day today with your leads that you have?
Well, Davil doesn't like me, so
I think
When
you don't
8
like
comes
him.
downstairs, Jules gonna be like, "Do you want to go see if we can find out anything about the one who was on the roof? The other metal person?"
Yes. Though I'm not sure Yes.
You're not sure about what?
Things may get complicated if there is another of my kind here.
Will it get complicated if we know or if we don't know? Will knowing change the level of complication?
Well, it will depend entirely upon whose allegiance they were before they came here.
But if we don't know, will it still be dependent on that? Is there a reason we shouldn't know?
No.
Excellent. She just goes out the door.
Perfect.
So at some point she's gonna try and like sneak around and climb up the other side of the building, probably wherever the city guard are watching. See if she can find anything on the roof.
Oh, so the two of you go outside and
Yeah.
Now the city guard's not like around. You can kind of like look around the area. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
She fucked this up last time, but
Yeah.
just
Okay. So you clamber on up there and take a look around. Make an investigation check.
okay. I don't think she's gonna take however much time it needs to take, but I will still roll my investigation. I'm gonna use my inspiration on this.
Sure.
Because at some point I want to find something. Good. Great. I got 2 13s, so a total of 15. Exact same number on both dice.
So it looks to you as it did before. Like someone was up here and they were like skulking around, and then they fled. But there isn't really any like trail you can pick up. If you want, you can ask me some questions. But yeah, it may not be the easiest thing to simply like chase someone or like, there's no like footprints up here or anything.
Yeah, they didn't leave anything behind.
No, not that you can see.
Okay. Is there any clear, like, kind of just getting an idea of like how heavy, like, did they break any, like when they stood on stuff, were they heavy enough that they broke tiles on the roof?
I mean, there are a few tiles that are like out of place.
Okay.
But yeah, no, you don't. It doesn't look like they were heavy. Not like 8. Like 8 tromping around up here would be one thing, but this is not.
Yeah. That's kind of what she's like. Are they bigger or smaller than 8? And then trying to get like an idea of like sight lines, like who might have been able to see them up here.
Yeah, unless you're standing like leaning over the edge of the building, there's no like it's easy to hide up here. Because the center of the building, unless you're looking from above or
Roofs are
across,
great that way.
yeah, right. You appreciate this approach. Like if it were you would also have thrown a fireball
This
from
is
the
where
roof.
I would be.
Yeah, exactly.
Roofs are great. I like roofs.
Yeah, totally.
Spend more time on
Obviously, the work of an immaculate professional.
them. She'll probably make the guess that they would have gone up and down like the back side of the building, the same one that she came on. That she would have come up, because otherwise someone would have seen them climb on the roof. But if there's any evidence that like they did any roof hopping, that would be the other thing she'd look for.
Whoever it
Like-
was, if that is the case, like if it were you, you wouldn't drop to the streets, right? Because like there's not a lot of this is a neighborhood of like very large buildings. It's not like the dock ward where everything's all jammed together and like leaning on each other. There's no good alleys. You've noticed that being in this neighborhood a few days now. There's no good alleys. If you get in trouble, there's nowhere to run to. So they almost certainly leapt from building to building, which means they've got a pretty good jump capability on them, because they're like there's some pretty again not all this stuff crammed together. So they have to be able to jump really well, and it looks like they're pretty light because you don't see any like deep footprints or like shattered
Crushing.
tiles. Yeah, it's not like the tick up here like leaping and smashing onto his head. Like they're light and nimble.
None of the Superman shit.
Yeah, that's right.
No like craters.
Mhm.
She'll just try and get an idea of like what would have been the best, like if I was going to sneak onto this particular roof or I was following someone via the roof, where might I have come from? Because if they were likely as they were probably following the person who was running and they were following along the roof is her guess. So she'll just kind of try and roughly backtrack like what direction was that coming from, and then put that in her pocket for later.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it's not clear, right? Like you know the scene of the crime, but there's no indication of which direction like they came from before it happened. You're just standing up here kind of admiring the like, yeah, like if I could jump really like pretty well, this would be pretty easy to get around. Yeah.
So she'll clamber back down and pass that onto 8 and be like, are there smaller versions of you or are they all large?
Well,
Looking up.
They did build creatures of my type for different jobs. There were designations of skirmishers. They were known to be fast, light, dexterous. Perhaps it could be one of those.
Well, it definitely wasn't someone as substantial as you. They would have made more of a mess up there. So it's still possible. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
As I say, we'll have to see. Though I'm still not. How likely it is for another one of me to be here, despite me not knowing how I came to be here myself, puts me at a disadvantage of calculating such an occurrence.
Yeah. I feel like you're missing some information. Well, we can keep looking around, asking around. Maybe someone has seen them. They were probably chasing that gnome for some reason, so they would still be our best bet. Besides, that gnome had something. I want that orb. Sounds really cool. Stone. It's probably an orb. Most stones are orbs.
I would say it's reasonable. It's reasonable to assume that a cool magical artifact is probably an orb. Orbs are very popular among cool magic artifact crafters.
Who makes a stone into any other non-spherical shape?
Exactly. You got to be able to clutch it. Okay, so Jewel, you've lived in Waterdeep a while. Can you make a history check for me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can. No, I can't.
All right. You're just clueless. You're just like
For the 3.
You're very focused on this like it must be just like 8. That's definitely what it is. Yep.
Well, she doesn't know about other metal creatures. 8 is the sum total of her experience. So therefore,
yeah, totally reasonable.
Logic dictates.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I guess everybody probably gathers up again in the like main room to decide what to do next.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right.
Let's go to the Black Staff.
Of course, we could go and see her. Yeah.
The Black Staff doesn't like me, and I don't like her much either.
You tell her.
Macaria, you don't like anyone.
I like you.
Oh.
Like Jewel like stops for a minute.
And she like grimaces a little. Like,
do you want to make a deception check, Macaria?
Yeah,
or...
yes, I would love to do that.
Wow, I like you.
Do you
That's
make that
lie.
smile like Wednesday Addams? Like,
I get a 13.
Jewel, make an insight check.
I will. Does Macaria like me?
Check yes or no.
13.
No, that's a bullshit lie. She is lying to your face.
Jewel pretends that Macaria likes her. Like, oh, that's so nice.
All right, Jewel, now you make a deception check.
Macaria, you didn't happen to learn anything last night, did you?
Can Macaria make an insight check? Hold on, we're trying to see if they're friends or not. It's very important.
I think that Jewel believes me.
Perfect.
Jewel is slightly better at lying than Macaria.
Learn anything? What do you mean learn anything? I got rip-roaring drunk and then I came back home.
So no, you didn't then. Okay.
Why would I?
Because
I learned that the person who replaces Dernan in the late evening is the worst bartender I've ever seen. She tried to get me to go to an Ilmater thing to stop drinking. It was awful.
Yes. Awful. I just assumed that maybe you talked to some people while you were there.
I talked to the bartender.
All right. Well, never mind then. We need to learn more about this stone. So the Black Staff is a good bet. But who knows if she'll have time to see us. Yes. No.
Very well.
We don't need to talk to her. We just need to use their stuff.
True.
Like they have a library. It's probably organized. I'm sure we could just go stone. Gee.
Yes. Well, I'm sure now that you're all best friends with the black staff, you'll have no trouble at all getting help there. And she's like a little bit like, man, I tried to see Dabble and he wouldn't talk to me.
My NPC's not as nice as your
We
NPC.
are merely initiates in this thing. I've been overstating our rank to almost everyone we've met. I wouldn't worry too much about whether or not our help will be specifically from the hand of the Black Staff or not. Let's go then. May as well try it.
Okay. All right. So you head to the Blackstaff tower to meet with Vajra Safar. Okay. All right. Yeah, Vajra's a busy lady, but I think we can cut to like a meeting with her. Sure.
Sweet.
So you've just been let in. I think she's in a another, like you walk in and this place is different every time you go in. This time you find yourselves in a room that has a sort of quiet to it. There are rows of candlesticks leading up to a pool of water at the end, a big stone bowl of water at the end of this room. The room is all kind of like blue, like the walls are like blue mural, and then there's the dull orange glow from all the candles. There's a hushed kind of like tone. There's some people here sitting, talking to each other, and you notice there are a few people in like blue robes that are sort of tending to some of the folks in here.
Are you sure that it's not blue and black in the surveilling room?
I'm sure that it is not. But you're brought here, and you see Vajra talking to a man. He's got a shaved head and these blue robes, and he has around his neck a holy symbol, a brass holy symbol of like it's an eye with a candle on top of it. And they're just talking.
Can I make a religion check?
Yeah, please.
18. What's that eye about?
Okay. The eye is the holy symbol of the god Denir. Denir is known as the scribe of Ogma, and is a deity of cartography, glyphs, images, knowledge, literature, and scholars.
Sounds boring.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Denir, not Demir. So you walk in and Vajra is talking to this guy, and then she sees you, and she comes over, and today she's dressed less like adventure-y and more like scholarly. Like she's got robes on. She's holding a big book in her hand, and she walks over, and she says, "I hadn't expected to see you all again so soon."
We ran into a little bit of a snag in terms of what we were looking for. So we thought best to come to you and ask for advice, knowledge.
A little knowledge can be a dangerous thing. What do you need to know about?
The Stone of Galore.
Make an insight check.
Sure.
Oh, did you know that Denir's favored animals to manifest as? One of them's a calico cat.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you say the Stone of Galore, and she shakes her head and she says, "I've never heard of it. What is it?"
An object of some value, I think, that has been making the rounds in the wrong hands here in Waterdeep.
Dangerous artifacts in the wrong hands are precisely the sort of thing I'm interested in. Stone of Galore, eh?
Something to do with sea creature. I read something about it a long time ago, but I can't remember. Those things to the mind, back and forth. All that.
You have a library we can borrow.
She says, the library is for initiates only.
No.
I can't just let anyone go wandering around in there.
Well, that seems like a waste of knowledge.
I thought you were initiates. A lot of you. I mean.
I think she means mage initiates, not.
Oh.
She says that's the trick about knowing things. You have to know what sorts of things are dangerous and which aren't. And to be perfectly honest, it takes some time to figure out one from the other. So you'll forgive me if I can't just open the doors to the library and let you dig around. Besides, I haven't even taken a full, and she looks over at the scholar priest, and she says, I haven't even taken a full account of these. There's sub-basements on sub-basements around here. So I'll look into it, or have someone do so. But I can't let you just run around. Not yet, anyway.
Fair enough.
I have
Appreciate-
one.
Oh, hey, please.
I have one other line of questioning, if you would be so kind.
Yeah, of course.
Have there been any reports of creatures like myself, or the things that might be mistaken?
It's my suspicion.
Yeah.
It's my suspicion, that you're unique, at least around here. But I think I catch your meaning. If you're looking for things like yourself, at least things that look like you, the House of Inspired Hands is where you're going to look. Do you know of it?
I do not.
Suddenly, the table is awash with the sound of people rolling history checks. Anyone who lives in Waterdeep, Makari, you can make a religion check.
History check.
Yeah,
I'm
history
gonna
and
guess.
religion checks from anybody who's
18.
Temple
Alright.
of God.
8 better than my last one.
Yeah, it's I mean, yeah, even with the 11, Rin, like you know. So the House of Inspired Hands is Waterdeep's great Temple of Gond. It sits on the corner of Seawatch Street and Shark Street in the Sea Ward, and as with many temples of Gond, it contains wonders and delights. Because Gond is an inventor god. Gond is a god who makes strange things. And some temples of Gond are like built for industry, right? Brass tubing and, furnaces. But this place, the House of Inspired Hands, they like making weird things. And it would not at all be unusual to find a clockwork man in their employ, especially. And it's not the right season for it, but especially because the Day of Wonders parade often features marching automatons, some in the shape of humans.
Does that happen like on the equivalent of Thanksgiving?
Yes, I guess
Like
it
a
would.
Thanksgiving parade.
Yeah, it's an autumn. It's a parade in autumn. So yeah, I think it probably is. Yeah, the Day of Wonders. Yeah, they fill up massive
Deep parade.
bladders with like gas lighter than air, and they float it down the main street of Waterdeep.
Makaria mutters something about useless gods of like knowledge and invention, like under her breath.
Oh, maybe that's where the person came from.
It's a good
You
bet.
want to go 8? They're useless to us here.
True.
I suppose we should.
So
I'll be
Vajra
I'll be very
says,
interested in you.
yeah, Vajra says, before you go running off to the House of Inspired Hands, maybe it's fortuitous that you arrived here today. I have an errand I need you to run for me.
Very well. What is it?
She says,
You agreed before she even asked.
Yes.
and
So you're just
she turns to look at you, Makaria, and she says, I'm sorry, priestess. I was speaking to my initiates, the Grey Hand. If you'd like, you can find yourself a way out. Any door will do. I promise you'll find yourself back in the street. There's a tavern
sure
some blocks
thing.
from here.
Oh, curses, blah blah.
Do you leave?
Yes, and I slam the door behind me.
So you open the door and you step out, and you find yourself in like a smelly alley somewhere in the city.
I hate her. I hate her so much.
Yeah,
You hate everyone, Vicaria.
you've no idea where you are. You like almost step in a puddle of pee, and you're just like, God damn it! And you like walk out into this like random alley.
I mean, I've lived here my whole life. I'm sure I'll find a street I recognize.
You'll figure it out. Yeah, you'll find street signs, but
it's totally here. I'll make everyone a portal back to Shadrath after the raid.
Swap of sorrows.
yeah. So so you just find yourself in the middle of nowhere. Meanwhile, Rin, 8, and Jewel, the Blackstaff, she has a satchel at her side, and she says, hang on, I've got something you're going to need. And she like reaches into her bag, and her hand goes into her wrist and then goes into the shoulder, and she's like, it's in here somewhere. She like opens the bag and like reaches in, and like her whole arm disappears. She's like, there we go. And she pulls out a bandolier of potions, a little like potion bandolier, and on it there are 4 potions that look like slightly bluish carbonated water. There's like bubbles floating around in them and like spontaneously kind of generating. And she holds the bandolier out to you, Rin. And she says, you're going to need this. There's a dragon in Deepwater Harbor. Not one of the scary ones. It's a bronze dragon, but he's been startling sailors. It hasn't hurt anybody, but a dragon that big.
Can I Arcana bronze dragon?
Yes, yeah, please do. Yeah. A dragon that big floating around in the harbor. Well, we need to go out there and find out what it's doing there. So take the potions and, get your feet wet. Find this dragon and see what it's doing in the harbor. And then come back here and let me know.
When she says get your feet wet, like Jewel scowls and like just like, oh no.
Yeah, get in there and just hoist that fucker out of there.
I think you only need to provide us with 3. I wouldn't want you to waste it otherwise.
And she looks at you and she says, oh, I suppose that's true. Well, keep the extra. You never know when being able to breathe underwater might come in handy.
True enough.
So bronze dragons are coastal dwellers that feed primarily on aquatic plants and fish. They often take the form of friendly animals to observe other creatures of interest. They're fascinated by warfare and eagerly join armies fighting for a just cause. So they're like, they spend some of their time underwater and some of their time flying around.
So what you're telling me is bronze dragons are the Aquaman of DC.
Yes, they're the Aquaman of dragons. That's right. Yeah. So there you go. Metallic dragons are the nice kind.
Yeah, they're like the good guy dragons, quote unquote.
This is what they look like. They look like that. Look at that pretty boy. And yeah, they're the good guy dragons.
How
It's so
old is
cute.
this- how large is this dragon? Do we know?
I mean, not so big you could see it from the shore, but a dragon's a dragon.
So not a very young dragon.
Well, you wouldn't
either.
want people judging you for being short, would you? You can get out there and talk to the dragon. It's more his attitude than his age I'm concerned with.
People have judged me for far worse.
I don't like anything about this.
She shrugs and she's like, try being the Blackstaff. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll ask around about this stone of Galore, but you go and deal with my dragon, and then let me know.
Will do.
And-
Always at your disposal.
Rin,
Yes.
I'm worried about your friend.
Makaria?
Not for her. Worried about us because of her.
I agree.
It's just, she's young, and Merkel's dangerous. A dark shadow. Him and his friends caused this place a lot of trouble in the past. And as much as I admire my forebears, I don't want to have to deal with the return of some horrible dead god.
But if my history lessons are correct, Merkel is, as you say, nothing but a shadow anymore.
This is Faerun, Rin. Gods come back to life all the time.
Fair enough. Well, I'll keep an eye on things much as I can. I can't stop her from worshipping as she worships, nor would I want to involve myself in that directly. We don't know each other very well, honestly. But she's been helpful, so...
I don't begrudge you having allies that are hard to manage, but I just worry that she's going to end up making friends with the wrong people who are going to give her opportunities that a person like that shouldn't have.
If there's one thing I've learned about Makaria, it's that she's terrible at making friends. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
She'll probably get kicked out of the Zentarum soon enough.
And that's putting it, that's a hopeful, optimistic outlook.
She has, so she nods and she says, it's easy to disregard these sorts of things, but she has power. You've seen it. There is a connection there. Dead or not, Merkel is giving her abilities that are dangerous, deadly even.
She's also used it to bring us back to life, so...
She shrugs and she says, I'm not going to tell you who to be friends with or not. I'm just saying, Merkel is dangerous. Makaria could be dangerous.
I'll keep an eye on things. And let you know if there's any real issue.
Have you ever thought about taking her to the Temple of Kelemvor? Having a real Kelemvorite talk to her, because maybe...
She used to live there.
She says that.
No, she actually did.
She shakes her head and she says, I wouldn't trust anything that girl says. Anyway, I'm not trying to worry you for nothing. I just keep an eye on things, please.
Well, I'll see if we can make an excursion that way. But dragon, I think, sounds like a pressing issue.
She smiles when you say that, and she says, have you ever met one before?
Not in person. I have spoken or been involved in a conversation with one or two.
She says, well, you've got quite the afternoon ahead of you. Have fun.
Yes, fun.
And she turns around to go and attend to whatever it is. And when you leave, the three of you head out. Now, Makaria, you've had about 10 minutes to wander around. Where have you gone? Do you just go into the nearest tavern, or?
I mean, okay. This is very un-Makaria thing to do, considering that she's probably the instant someone slights her, you're dead. I'm going to kill you eventually.
Yeah. Cool. You want to roll initiative?
Well, in terms of the actual storyline, I can't just I really the Zentarum is something I'm actually interested in being told no one time. It doesn't make much sense for me to be well, I'm done with you now.
Yeah, no, totally.
Well, and part of it, Makaria is not an idiot. Part of it is them testing you, right? Being you need to learn your place. We're a family and you're the baby sister. Well, your wisdom is really high, right?
Yes, it is. It is very.
So whether you acknowledge it or whatever, in your heart of hearts, in your brain, you know what's going on. You know you're being tested, right? You're the person that shows up on the doorstep of the Shaolin Temple and they beat you with brooms and tell you to fuck off. And you're like, no, I must learn Kung Fu. You have the willpower to suffer through that. Even if you hate them for it, you know that's what's happening.
Okay, well, the Yawning Portal is a big fucking deal, and you could probably get to it from any place in the city. So that's the landmark.
So you just start heading
towards. Yeah.
Okay.
She still has important information.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you turn around, start heading towards there, and I think you're walking down the street, and you're up on the kind of sidewalk area. There aren't proper sidewalks, but you're against the side, and you're walking by a potter's shop, and the door swings open, and Rin and 8 and Jules step out right in front of you in the street.
Oh, Makaria.
How is your new best friend?
Apparently, we have to go and talk to a dragon.
Lovely. I hope it eats you all.
Hey, you don't want to come? Dragon. Power. Dragon.
Dragons are pretty cool.
What kind of dragon?
Bronze. War and violence.
Well,
I should underwater.
And water.
I like that everyone else is like, oh god, it's a dragon, and you're like, oh god, it's a water.
Whatever. dragons, whatever. She gets them. They want to steal shit. They water. Big nope.
Well, I guess you'll all die without me anyway. Not that that would be a disappointment. I just want to be there, you know.
I love that every time she says stuff like that, she has to be like, not that I don't not care or whatever.
Tsundere as hell.
Yeah.
I don't even want to
It's
be
not
in this
that I
party,
don't-
Baka.
Not that I even like you, Baka.
Yep.
So I have some potions. I like heft the bandolier. We drink them. We breathe underwater. We find the dragon.
You know how long they last?
If I had to hazard a guess, maybe an hour, maybe a little more.
Yeah, if you had to guess, it would you would guess that it lasts for exactly an hour, in fact.
That's what I would guess.
Well, I don't know how far this dragon is supposed to be, but perhaps we should charter a boat to get us a bit closer before we waft the potions.
It's supposedly just in the bay. So.
Yes, it's a large bay.
Yeah, let's take a look at the map of Waterdeep, shall we? Let me drag you over there.
Adam, I got a question.
Uh-huh.
Do I float because of the wooden parts in me, or do I sink because I'm like 250 pounds?
I think you would I mean, it's like a human, like somewhere in the middle, like you could still drown. I mean, you can't drown, but like, yes.
I want to know if I'd turn me and just like walk under.
No, I think in the absence of detail about that stuff, you're you're a human. Yeah, we have to treat you as if you were similar to a human. So let's see. The bay, I believe that they're referring to, let me double check here, is, let's see, Deepwater Harbor, which I guess is down here. There's a lot of there's only one harbor, so it's got to be down.
I'm still on the Waterdeep Dragon High screen.
Down here. Let me grab you. Whoop. There you go.
Okay, so you said the bay.
Yeah, down there somewhere in the Great Harbor.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
But it's been scaring sailors, so maybe somebody
knows where it's at. We just gotta go talk to someone. Yes, okay, you might be right. Find someone who can bring us to the right place.
Honestly, if people are annoyed by the dragon enough, they might just be willing to take us there without us having to pay for the boat.
If it's causing enough problems, we may be able to convince someone to help us.
Do I have to get in the water?
Yes.
Wait, you mean your great friend Vajra didn't already charter a boat for you?
No, she gives the potions.
Such a bitter asshole.
What is your great friend done for you recently?
Which great friend are you referring to?
I don't know any of them. Any friend
Us,
you have, a single friend. Name one.
Aren't I your friend, Makaria?
Yes, Jewel. What have you done for me recently, Jewel?
Probably kept
Honestly.
you alive. I got you that drink. It did turn out to be water, but I did get it for you.
I imagine you're having this conversation as you're like walking down.
We're walking.
Yeah. Unless you wanted to go to the Yawning Portal, Blue Jay, for...
Not now that you're here.
Okay, I see. Fuck.
So snarky. What's funny is that if it had gone the other way, she would be intolerably smug about it too. So it's like you don't win. You can't win with Makaria. She's either like pouty or over like thinks she's so great. I love her. She's ridiculous. What an asshole. Okay, so you want to charter a boat because deep water is over here, so it's probably like somewhere in there.
Yeah, the thought was like where the sailors have been getting annoyed, we want to go there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so I think we montage, right? We don't need to play out every little thing. But we have like a scene of you talking to some sailors and they're like pointing at the water and like, it was this big, like terrifying dragon, like, you know, and like we get some music playing and we cut to another one where you're giving some coins over to probably the same boatman that we saw in the Adventurers League, the like wizened old one-eyed boatman wearing a raincoat in the middle of the day, and it's like summer, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll take you across the Great Harbor," and you're getting in his boat, and he's like paddling you out there, and then what's the plan? Like, are you gonna just like you get a pretty good idea of where the dragon has been spotted, kind of like
assuming we've gotten information
in this area.
Once we get to that point, it's hop out and drink the potions and swim down.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you just like jump in the water. It's gonna get
By the
dark
way-
under there. So you're all on the boat, and the old man is just like he gets you out to where and he says he's like, yeah, I think you just come to a stop, and you're just kind of like washing back and forth. You can hear like
Hereabouts where we've heard of a dragon.
Would appreciate if you don't go too far. We'll be back in hopefully shortly.
he squints at you with his one good eye, and he says, "Yar, beware of the depths. Strange creatures dwell within.
I'm just gonna like
Strange creatures, the likes of which you've never seen before.
How old are you?
Yar, I be 32.
I've just realized, of course, that I'm carrying a bunch of stuff that I don't want to bring underwater. So can sometime during that montage, can I have left
Yeah.
it like not on this fucking boat?
Sure.
Great. Okay. Cool. All my paper is safe.
Okay.
I assume we're having him stay here.
Yeah, that's
his
what I
back.
said. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
But-
he's got an
But I don't
anchor.
know if this guy's little boat will get fucked up by a dragon.
He's
you
got
know
his
what I
little
mean?
he's got his little anchor, and he's gonna throw it in the water, and he'll hang out here.
Yep. Well, I suppose now is as good a time as any.
Last chance, Jewel. Do you want to just stay on the boat?
And you look over at the old man. He's thrown the anchor overboard, and he's got like he's got a scroll like he's pulled out under his arm. He's taken the scroll out of a bag, and it's got a little like wax seal on it. And he says, "You're welcome to stay with me up here. I was going to catch up on my reading."
She kind of eyes the sailor, and then she just like looks down in the water and looks back at Makari and like, dragons normally have hordes.
So I take
like
one of the
stuff.
potions out of the bandolier, Adam.
Mhm.
I uncork it,
Okay,
and I just
you drink it.
drink
okay,
it. Drink
All right.
it real good.
You
I
feel
can't imagine it tastes very good, and I can't imagine
Okay,
the
so
air is particularly good. afterward.
imagine if you will a LaCroix flavor, but like nori flavored LaCroix.
Like nori flavored
Yeah.
LaCroix.
Tastes
Oh my-
like seaweed flavored LaCroix.
yeah,
Just
okay.
like the vaguest hint of seaweed in carbonated water.
Yeah, great. I drink it. I drink
Okay.
it all down because
You
I don't
hiccup
wanna
once or
waste any
twice?
of it. Like make a face and then like hold my breath because I'm like
Because you can't help it.
okay, and like step over the side of the boat basically
Yeah, you
with
splash
the like
down in the water.
traditional sort of like just straight down, hold my nose, like yeah, plunge.
Okay.
And I of course I give off the bandolier to
Yeah.
the person.
Okay. So Makaria and Jewel and Eight, are y'all gonna follow suit?
Yeah, Jewel knockers back, like, leaves all the things that she doesn't want to get wet and just like
Submersible cat person.
just sort of looks at the water and like has like a mental conversation with like,
I push you. I
Water.
push you off the boat.
yeah, you push her in the water.
Yeah. And you fall in the water. It's just a big
Flails
splash.
a lot. Oh. And then she like reaches up and grabs Makari.
He yanks your ankle, and
shit.
Makaria tumbles over, and the ship is tilting back and forth.
And then she'll dive after Rin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eight, you're gonna. So it's just you and this old man. He looks at you.
Oh. Did we pay you?
And he's like, "Aye, your friend paid me before we left."
Right. I like look at the potion. I'm just like, just like put it in a backpack and then just like walk off the edge.
Okay, splash! You step in the water and you start to sink. And yeah, the ripples on the surface kind of like start to calm. The boat like rocks back and forth gently, and we see the old man. And he takes out a knife, a little pocket knife, and he cuts the wax seal on the scroll. And we can see as he cuts it, the wax seal is it's in the shape of like a beautiful smiling woman's face with like red hair, kind of like coming off the back. The symbol of the priesthood of Sune, goddess of beauty, and he cuts it. And as he unrolls the scroll, he's like, "Here," and he like opens it, and we catch just the barest like glimpse of some like hand drawn Sunite pornography as he's like, "Here," and we fade to black on that. So we'll take a short break here, and we'll come back and we'll see if things are better down where it's wetter under the sea. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I miss Arcturus.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Roll20 Presents Waterdeep Dragon Heist. At the conclusion of today's episode, and the group of you are slowly sinking to the bottom of the harbor. My question, I suppose, as you descend, is how are you going to be able to see down here?
Dark vision.
Uh-huh.
I was just gonna not mention it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, how much, like, in between time have we had? Have we had, like, nights and stuff? Like, have we had, like, any amount of days? Because I said I was going to cast the continuous flame on 8's
if you have
sword.
the resources to do so.
8 said he was going to pay for it.
If you have the resources to do so.
Yeah.
You are certainly welcome to have done that.
I'll give you 50 gold to purchase the materials.
Well, yeah, and I immediately just like purchased the materials, and yeah, because we already mentioned that we were going to do that when I got to level 3 and could do that spell. Yeah.
So I suppose that's how.
Okay. All right. So can you tell me about that spell? What are the effects?
Of course. Continual flame. One sec, let me get it. It is a flame equivalent in brightness to a torch. Springs forth from an object that you touch. The effect looks like a regular flame but creates no heat and doesn't use oxygen. It can be covered or hidden but not smothered or quenched, and it lasts until dispelled.
Okay.
It takes ruby dust worth 50 gold pieces, which is why he had to give me 50 gold, and it's just until dispelled. So it just lasts until you don't want it to anymore. But
so it cannot be quenched, is what I heard.
It cannot be quenched.
Yeah, so you can use it underwater. It's like a flare or whatever, those weird underwater flares.
But it has the same like distance as a regular torch does.
Okay.
Would you want it to be cast on your sword? I would assume your sword would be out of its sheath only when we're already like engaging with people, right?
It would be better on the shield. I was gonna ask, could I have had a little panel on the front of it so you could slide it up and down to like close it and open it, so it would show the light through, and then just put a little metal plate down over it, or like on hinge or something.
So you want to have like a special thing built into your shield that you can like flip open?
Yeah, it just needs to be like a hole with a hinge covering it, which I could probably do myself. But
you can make a roll if you want.
Yeah, a Smith's Tools roll.
Yeah, Smith's Tools roll. Yeah, totally. Let me jump back over to.
Which attribute would you say is, excuse me, most relevant?
I mean, I think most like crafting is like dexterity, right?
Dexterity or intelligence generally, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do either. I'll do dex. What do you want me? What's the DC? Excuse me.
Oh, I don't think this is too difficult. The idea here is you don't want to compromise the shield. So let's say DC 12.
Okay, I've got a decent chance of doing that.
Okay.
Could I get some guidance to do it since I fixed your cloak?
You want guidance too?
Yeah.
So demanding.
All right, sweet.
Yeah, I'm amazed that Makaria managed to spend that money on the spell components and not just on booze.
I mean, maybe I tried to haggle for the spell components so that I could use some of it to buy booze, but I doubt it.
I'm sorry, 8. This spell's going to cost 100 gold. Okay, yeah, no problem. So now, 8, you have on your shield a panel that, as an action, you can pull open or close to show, like, it shine the light out, and you've added on top of your shield. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, sweet.
Okay, all right.
I'm looking forward to eventually having a shield with like a bunch of those things on, like extra dagger like things on it, so I can pull those out through and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, if I could, I would make it like a cool black flame, but that wouldn't be as useful, I don't think. And it just comes out looking like regular fire no matter what I try. So.
That's true.
Makari's like, black flame. It's like,
so give me the range on the light again?
If it's a torch,
it's just like, yeah, it's a regular torch.
But it's an angle in front of you, right? because you open
with the
it's a
way you've
shield,
just
the way you described
described
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it would
sure.
be. I think it's fair to say that it would be 180 degrees in front of you. And it was
Sure.
60 feet, you said?
20/40.
Oh, okay.
So, 25, 20 bright, 20 dim.
There you go. Cool. All right. So, you are sinking to the bottom of the harbor. You're like swimming down there, and yeah, I think that we see probably you startle some fish that swim away as you get deeper and deeper in the water. It gets colder and colder as you reach towards the bottom. It's not deep enough that pressure is going to be an issue, but you can see the shape of what looks like a shipwreck, partly sunk into the sand at the bottom. The figurehead on the ship, as we pass the light over it, the figurehead on the ship is a man dressed in scale armor, holding a trident in front of him with like long flowing hair, and he's like carved into the front of the thing.
Is it Arcturus?
I'm not gonna say whether it's Arcturus or not, but it's a handsome,
I'm
it's a
visualizing
handsome,
it
it's a
as
handsome boy
Arcturus.
holding a trident. And yeah, and as we submerge, we get down to the bottom, and yeah, we land in the sand, and
Hello.
yeah, bloop, 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 bloop.
I'm assuming I can speak. Otherwise, this is an exercise in futility.
I think the potion of let me read the description of the potion of breathing.
I can still talk to the dragon for you.
No, God, please.
I'm very persuasive.
Let's see, a potion of what's it called? Water breathing.
Yeah.
It just says you can breathe underwater, but I think it's reasonable to say that you can like speak, and that's fine. Okay.
So we're like feet in the sand here, right?
Yeah. So you sink to the bottom, and your feet are in the sand. You kind of have to like tread water opposite to like hold yourself down.
We're looking for. Is
Joel's
anybody-
gonna swim towards the shipwreck.
Yeah. I mean,
Same.
it's right where you land,
I have
right?
to be under the water.
The ship is
going
like
with
broken
it
in
under the
half.
water.
And like sunken in the sand.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm swimming towards the boat.
Keep the group
I
together.
have to be under here. There better be something worth it.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Oh, I don't like it. She is unhappy.
Yeah, you don't.
It's
look
really
like you're having
hard
a
to
good time.
hear what you're saying.
Okay.
Merkel's a stupid.
Hello, dice roll.
Yeah. So you swim down to the bottom, and I don't think like this is not so much an ambush as it is like you've just upset or disturbed the
Sahagin.
the Sahagin that are around here. So you see some shapes start to move around, and they're moving towards you, and you all get the sudden impression that like, uh-oh, this isn't good.
Sahagin?
And I'm gonna bring you over. I've got a map. Everybody needs to roll initiative.
Fish people.
Yeah, shark people, really.
Sahagin.
I'll show you the. Give me a second. I'll show you the.
Sahagin.
Sahuagin. We talked about this before in episode once.
Good.
Okay.
Oh, they look like gross things. They look gross.
They're like angry murlocs.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
That was very good, Blue Jay.
It was a
Very
good
you.
murloc sound. All right. So yeah, everybody roll your initiative. And I will add. Hold on. Okay, so Jewel with a 19, and Makaria with a 12.
This lighting makes me so glad that we're playing this adventure on Roll20, the virtual table.
Wow, Dave.
I mean,
wow.
so what you can't
It
see what
looks really cool.
you can't see
actually.
what Dave is seeing, but I gave him a 180-degree field of vision, and he has to literally turn around to be able to see what's behind him.
It's very cool.
It is pretty cool.
Some guy's creeping up behind you, Dave.
Okay, so
Oh.
all right.
Sorry.
Wait,
I'm
Joey,
so
is that
sorry.
from your perspective? I don't see the 180. I just get a nice little glow around him.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. He's giving off light. You can all see anyway. Okay, sorry. Makaria 12, Rin 7, Jewel 19, 8, 16, and then okay, there's our extra Rin. So let me just fix it.
Oh, is it not?
Oh, there's an
I
extra
I hadn't cleared it yet.
Okay.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I appreciate your hustle, everybody. Let me roll for these shark men who are waiting to ambush you. So there's no, nobody's surprised, but they're all kind of like there, and they swim out from the rocks, glaring at you.
You deleted 8 as well.
Ready to frenzy. 8 should be on there.
You got the
It's on
wrong.
there.
I get the wrong 8. Okay, so you got 16. There you go. Okay, everybody should see. All right, there we go.
Oh no.
They're so fast. Okay, so I broke out. Listen, you thought aerial combat was a trip. Get ready for fighting underwater.
Oh, I hate this so much. This is the worst thing ever.
So, when you find yourself underwater, the following rules apply. When making a melee weapon attack, a creature that doesn't have a swimming speed has disadvantage unless their weapon is a dagger, a javelin, a short sword, a spear, or a trident. A normal ranged attack automatically misses beyond the weapon's normal range. Even against a target within normal range, the attack roll has disadvantage unless it is a crossbow, a net, or a weapon that is thrown, like a javelin, including a spear, trident, or dart. Creatures and objects fully immersed in water have resistance to fire damage.
Can I just again express how much I hate everything?
Without a swimming speed, everything is difficult terrain because you're like trying to swim through the water. All right. So that's okay because the Sahagin are going to come to you. So they have a swim speed of 40.
Oh, they swim so fast.
All right. So yeah, out of the dark of the water come the shark men, and they
They look more like frogmen.
they swim towards you.
Or like
Oh god, there's 2 of them. I'm gonna die like in 2
So they
seconds.
swim towards you, fins kicking, and they have in their hands spears. They have sharp spears tipped with sharpened coral, and they're gonna stab you with them. So since you can like spin around, Dave, you don't have them like attacking you from behind. As soon as it comes towards you, spin around. It's just that you don't have to reveal the light. The trick in a game like this that doesn't consider facing on tokens is that your light only matters for exploring. Otherwise, you're constantly like a police light just spinning around. It's like a rave down here. The old man up in the boat like looks down. There's like flashing. He's like, "Arr. Strange things afoot below the sea." Arr, arr.
This goes back to his porn.
Yeah, let me look at these sacred drawings to ease my mind. So meanwhile, down below, the thrashing of the creatures. So let me hold on. I got one more. There we go. Okay, so they all swim, rush in towards you. So 8. Let's start with you.
Sure.
The first one makes an attack with they bite and they spear or claw. So he tries to bite you. And I get an 8. Can you guys see this? I have these like.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we
you
can.
can see the attack rolls now. Good. Okay. So the
good.
bite gets an 18 against you, which is a miss. So yeah, one of them comes out and opens its terrible jaws, like clamps down on your shoulder, but can't like get at you. There's just shell in the way. And then he's gonna try to stab you with a spear. So spear gets an 11. Okay, so you're safe from the first one.
Yeah.
The second one is going to bite and gets a 22.
That's it.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, never mind. Damage, I don't fucking care.
Okay, so you get bit for 2.
Oh,
I gotta save my own ass.
Okay, and
Yeah.
now he has advantage
they'll
against you.
advantage.
Yeah, they have advantage against you because your hydraulic fluid is sending them into a frenzy.
I was just thinking about that. I knew I had that, and I was like, I don't have blood. but,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't have all your hit
we're
points.
So,
So
dead. Jesus.
fluids floating in the water, and it gets a 14. Okay. All right. So Makaria,
Yes?
your shark boyfriend, he swims over to you and tries to bite you.
Gross. Get off me. Ow.
He gets a 15,
I hit.
and he bites you for 3 damage.
Kill it. Please kill it with fire.
And now he has advantage,
Or not with fire.
and he
'cause-
misses. Yeah, don't kill it with fire. Okay, and then one for Jewel. So Jewel, this time the fish is biting back. Jewel, it's your worst nightmare. All of those delicious tuna that you ate.
This is the worst. Jewel is so upset right now.
You're at the bottom. You're at the bottom of the sea, and you're being attacked by angry fish. It's time for their revenge.
Get him.
All right.
Give him a big stab.
So the fish is gonna try to bite you, and it misses.
12 misses.
And then it goes in for the spear attack, and that's a hit, I
18
believe,
hits.
for 4 damage.
Ugh.
Okay, and then Rin,
Hey.
bite attack. It's definitely a miss.
Nope.
And then a spear attack, which is a crit.
I can't
You
cutting
can't
words
do
it, so.
So that one does you 11.
Oh my god, what the
God, jams a spear into you, and your blood floats out into the water, and then like the other one like turns immediately and just goes into a frenzy and
Cool, I'm
attacks
at
you.
less than half.
Okay, so this one tries to bite you with advantage and misses, and then tries to hit you with a spear for 13.
Cutting words.
You want? Yeah, that's a good one. Cutting words, that shit. Cutting bubbles.
You call that aim? I've seen kobolds with better aim.
Me too. I can think of one in particular. Okay, so this is how much do you reduce it by?
She's muted.
So minus that from the attack roll.
So that's all that
which
matters. Yeah.
It misses.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. So Jewel, it is your turn.
Jewel, being underwater, is going to draw out her dagger as opposed to a rapier, and she's 2
Yeah.
of them. So
Okay.
she'll start with just attacking. Attacking once.
Get that fish, boy.
I'm gonna stab. You know what? She's gonna stab the fish back.
Okay.
Doesn't have advantage, but 13.
Maybe. Yes, 13 is a hit.
Okay. And she can still use sneak attack because of her rakish audacity.
Good. Okay. I want to give you a like
You
bonus damage
rolled
for saying
3
it like
ones.
that. Also, yeah, that's
A
the
lot
fucking
of ones.
worst. 2 ones and then a 1.
And a 1.
Ones
And a 1.
and
Yeah.
ones. Just ones.
So she deals 6 points of damage.
The worst possible attack you could do. Okay. All right. So you lash out and
Yeah.
stab the
But
thing.
she's struggling. This is difficult. She is not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to do with your bonus
oh
action?
gosh, she sees. Oh,
you
she
have
sees
a dagger in your
people.
offhand, so you can make another attack, but you won't be able to do
Yeah,
sneak attack or
I
anything.
can't.
Also-
I can only use sneak attack once.
Yep.
Also,
but it's
Jewel, you're aware that I can turn invisible, so that's what I'm doing. Fucking get out of there. Don't worry
cool.
about
Then she's probably going to just try and she'll use her bonus action to stab again.
Okay.
And I don't have. We'll have to subtract because 16 hits.
Yep.
Okay, and then
So
without
regular
sneak
damage
attack-
minus whatever your
Great. I rolled 1 point of damage. Just subtract the
fantastic
3.
1 damage.
The worst.
Your D4s are cursed.
So mad right now.
Okay. All right, Jewel. 8. It is your turn. There are 2 angry shark guys, like just all up the bad kind of merfolk.
Would punch be a disadvantage?
Yes. Yeah. Any attack roll unless it's a dagger, javelin, short sword, spear, or trident.
Lame.
On the plus side, they don't seem to have great AC. So.
No, their AC is fairly low. Yeah, they don't. I don't think they're wearing any armor. I think they just have scales.
I mean,
yeah, natural armor, scaly
if a
bodies.
13 hits, then I need a 6 at disadvantage, which is
It's not awful.
almost fine.
Yeah.
Okay, in which case, if I don't get any advantage for punching, I will longsword.
Cut them.
You just like Mission Impossible, Henry Cavill, that shit, just like pow.
Be sweet.
All right, you load your fist.
Looks like I missed though.
Okay. Yeah, and so your arm, there's like drag, and we see a swath of bubbles, but there's so much resistance from swinging your sword that you can't hit them, and they deflect it with the spear.
I mean, I might as well try and go as fast as possible. I'll use my excuse me, action surge to attack again.
Do it.
I was wondering if it'd be 13 hit.
Hey, there you go. Yep, that's a hit.
12 points of damage.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, so that swing cuts deep. You adjust for the swing, yeah.
That's that good shit we need.
Yeah, and you bury the sword in the Suigan's chest, and its brackish blood bubbles forth from some severed artery within. It's still fighting, but you've gravely wounded the thing.
I'm gonna unwavering mark it just in case it tries anything.
Yeah, I mean they're in a frenzy, so they're just gonna go after you. But okay, Makaria.
Gross, get off me, you're disgusting. Ugh.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
I'm imagining that she's trying to push away this creature, and looks around to her friends, and she's just fuck all of this. I would cast Bane on all of them, but it's too high of a level spell, so I'll cast Bless on all of us instead.
Okay.
I did level 2, so it's all of us. You can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to an attack roll or saving throw whenever you make an attack roll. So that'll help with the disadvantage, hopefully.
I'm going to use this cool skull as your blessing icon.
Yeah, so it's going to be great. It's great. You're just filled with the blessings of
Ball
Merkel.
up in the air for that, full trifecta of Bane, Merkel, and Ball.
Yeah. Exactly. Cast Bane, and you have a ball. You need that orb. You need that orb of Galore.
The orb.
That's right. It's just a ball. Okay, so that lasts 10 rounds, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it's concentration.
Got it. Okay, Makaria, anything else?
I'm not gonna try and move. It would get an attack of opportunity. So.
All right, Rin.
I cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. Sounds good. Boop.
And then I move difficult terrain-wise away from them.
You're swimming? Yeah.
To here.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
That's my turn. If I'm anywhere near this, I'm going to get mulched in 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm. So you snap your fingers, turn invisible, and start to swim
It's not a finger snap. It's the dust, but we're underwater, so it's just it's like a cloud of silt.
Well, yeah, you pull it out and it just turns to mud in your hand. You're just and just kind of
I just throw it into the air, right? And
I feel like, and I know for game balance and stuff, but in the universe, I feel like somatic components, you'd have to practice an underwater version of them because the resistance on your limbs and motion is different. Same as being in space, right? But yeah, it's fine. Okay, because it's fantasy underwater. It doesn't actually matter. Okay, cool. So Rin is invisible. That lasts for an hour, right?
It does, yeah.
I always imagine that D&D underwater combat is like Final Fantasy X, where inexplicably they can just breathe forever.
Yeah. No, it's more like the water level in Mario, and you have to keep hitting the button to stay in the middle of the screen. Okay.
Right, jump onto the squid.
All right. So Sharky boys, they will just redistribute then if Rin has gone invisible. So let me. Oh God, there we go. Cool. All right.
Disgusting. Why did I bless you?
Everybody has 2 of them. So let's start with Makaria.
I'm muttering under my breath curses against Rin for abandoning us.
So AC 12 bite attack. They have
I
advantage.
hope you die.
They have advantage now.
Yep, that hits.
So you take 3. One of them chomps your arm.
4. It says 4.
4.
Okay.
And then a melee strike. Oh, you're gonna go down fast, Makaria. You take another 9.
Okay.
Are you gonna do the concentration as you go, or just at the end?
Yeah, do 2 concentration checks.
Okay.
Can you bless your own concentration?
Nope. Yes, you can, of course. Yeah. So roll if you get a 4,
the
blessing stays.
Big 4
No.
Merkel.
No.
Merkel's like, yeah, never mind.
Okay, anyway, continue.
I'm sorry, your spell failed.
It's fine. It's whatever.
Okay, and then the other one, bite, is a miss.
Mm-hmm.
And spear. 4.
That's a hit.
Okay, so for 7.
Okay.
Still holding on. All right, Jewel, your turn. Bite.
I hope I can stab one of them.
Which is a miss.
Oh no, it's not your turn to stab. You're being.
Oh no, I know. I just hope I get to stab one of them.
Yeah, spear for 3.
Is this an advantage, Adam? This stuff
Yes.
that's coming out?
Yeah,
Okay.
they have blood frenzy, so you have
Okay.
Cool.
okay,
Cool.
and then the second attack on you for
Yep.
Sea goblins, another 3. And then a spear attack for...
Cutting words.
Oh yeah, that one's cutting words for sure. Yeah, do it.
You're uglier than actual fish.
Does that count as casting a spell or
Nope.
Nope.
It doesn't.
It's literally just talking. That's how the bard. It's great. Come on.
Anybody could say that, but when a bard says it, it
There.
really hurts. Okay,
You're
so you
good,
evade
you're
evade
good.
that attack.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
now attacks on 8. So bite. It's a crit on 8. It's got lots of cool. Good crit, Adam. Good stuff. You take 3 damage.
For a clown.
And then the second one's a 19,
It's a miss.
which is a miss, so damage doesn't matter. Okay.
Back in my good armor.
And then the next guy, bite.
Disembodied insult ghost. Yep, that's me.
Okay. For 5.
Oh,
And then a spear.
not into that.
Is a miss. Okay. All right. Jewel, you will indeed get your opportunity to attack.
Oh, good. I get to stab one of them. I'm gonna stab one of them
Do it.
with a dagger.
Okay. You hit him.
13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
that's what we call sneak attack.
So dead. You just jam the knife in between his little. I think his ribs, but they're like cartilage.
And then I think she just like takes the other dagger and will offhand like bonus action try and stab the one behind her.
Knife goes in, guts come out, and you just gut the fish, and he just Sahuagin sushi floats to the surface.
I assume a 10 misses.
10.
It does, yeah. And you turn around and lash out, but that Sahuagin blocks the blow with a spear.
Not going well.
Cool. All right. So 8. It is your turn.
All right. I'm going to attack the same one again.
Do
That same
it.
guy.
Yeah, because he's marked by you. So
15 hits.
definitely.
12 more damage.
So dead. Just chopped up.
Oh my god.
Okay. As part of a move, can I grab his spear?
'Cause he's not holding it anymore. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So I mean, I don't change weapons this turn. I do that as part of the thing next turn.
Yeah, you have a sword. Yeah, his spear will float to the bottom, and you can just pick it up as part of a move. You'd have to drop your sword, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll get it back.
Okay.
Afterwards.
And that's your turn?
I'll second wind as well, actually, if I can get back up to max.
Right, you
which
might
is
you
a
might
lot.
avoid the advantage.
Yeah. Sorry, I know it's D10 plus 5 to 11. I was gonna make a macro. I forgot. Oh, nice! I am back at full.
Fantastic. Okay, remind me when I attack you that they don't have advantage. Makaria, it's your turn. You're getting chewed on by fishmen.
I never thought I would die by getting chewed on by fishmen. But
But the pale hand of death comes for us all.
c'est l'amour.
I wonder if I have. I own it, but I don't know if I have it on my shelf. I have a whole book, of a second edition D&D book dedicated just
Yeah, I
to
know, I
Sahuagin.
know. I was just a what?
Yeah, just them. I can't remember what
They're
it's
a
called.
big deal.
But
They're
there's
like
a whole
kind of
there's a whole
weirdly
book.
big deal.
They did an entire like story arc of like 3 or 4 books that are just about like the terror from the sea, and it's about how the Sahuagin like rise up, and like it's a whole thing. There's like an arc. I wonder what that book is called. Anyway, take your turn.
I don't know whether I want to try and heal myself to survive the next onslaught or try and kill one of them. I want to try and kill one of them. Wait, oops, not that one. This one. Inflict wounds. No, I don't get it. I'm
Okay.
going to die. Goodbye.
Come here, and he moves out
Alas, cruel world.
of the way. Okay, Rin.
I can't do much without making myself visible again, but I don't have any threats on me right now, so that's kind of okay. I'm going to, I think, Dissonant Whispers, one of the ones near Makaria.
Yeah. Okay.
So I become visible again
Okay.
as I cast the spell and whisper horrible things in this. I don't get my instrument out because what the fuck am I going to do with it underwater? I just whisper horrible things in the psychic ear of this Sahuagin. I guess the top one.
This one all the way up here.
Yeah, that
Okay.
nerd. Give him the business.
Okay.
Oh,
That nerd.
Go. Hang on.
The other
I
one.
got a different one. Bam!
Boom!
Oh, critical!
So dissonant. Such
Oh,
whispers.
So whispers.
All right.
So this
So
is 6d6 psychic damage.
let's see. So I think though, hold on. So it's you make the attack
There's
and they have to
no-
make a save. I think it's just a
There's
save.
no attack.
So it's not actually an
Oh,
attack.
you're
I'm
right.
very impressed by that awesome 20,
Damn it.
but it's just a regular attack.
You're totally
Um,
right. There's no attack roll. All right,
so I'll
we'll
make the
your wisdom
save. I'll make
Never mind. I get no fucking critical. It's fine.
All right, let's
Crit
make
fail this, Adam.
a wisdom save on this.
Come on. Come
Dangerous.
on. Come on. Damn it.
It's a 19.
All right, so you're going to take half of this. So 7 damage.
Okay, 7 damage to the top guy. Got it.
I've got to remove that from that so I don't get
Yeah.
excited next
I know,
time.
right?
Hang on.
Okay, all right. Anything else, Ren?
No, I'm gonna move slightly further away from this guy and slightly further down this way.
Okay, that sounds good.
Seems like a good move. Okay.
All right. So fishy boys. Let's do yours first because he doesn't have advantage.
Sure.
So bite.
Sorry, Bleach, I tried.
Nope. And spear. Nope. Okay. Great. Now let's do Jewel. Okay.
Cutting words.
16. Yeah, you want cutting words out?
Cutting
Okay.
words. What can I say to a Sahagwin? You're a fucking Sahagwin. What else do I need to say?
You haven't been relevant since 2nd edition.
Fucking useless. All
All right.
right, good.
Okay, so he misses. He looks up like,
That is
"Hey,
my
shut
last
up.
cutting words. I don't have
Shut
any
up,
more.
you're a dick."
That's it.
Okay. All right, and that was the bite. So now the spear, which is a 21.
Ugh.
You take 5. All right, and now Makari is gonna get chewed up.
I couldn't have saved Makari if I wanted to.
Okay. So a bite attack, and Makari, you take 3 damage. Are you out?
I have
No,
one
you have 1 hit
HP.
point. Okay. All
One.
right. Let's see what we
She
can do.
clings to life.
Okay, and there's the spear.
And I'm down
and that's-
now.
yeah, that's down.
Whatever it
Okay.
is.
Well, I'll put you down.
Okay, so rather than have them like just attack your corpse, because they're not savages, they're in a frenzy. But I think they like scrap with each other over who gets to eat you, and I'll have the other one just not make his attacks. So, Jewel, it is your turn.
Ah, shit. She can't do fuck all about Makaria, but she can stab. So,
I can deal with Makario.
yeah, she's going to be like, well, kind of like looks to Rin and then just goes, "Ha!"
Okay.
with the dagger.
Give him the old stab.
Give him the old stabby.
Oh no.
Nuts.
No.
I'm going to bonus action offhand the other dagger to stab, which I can apply the sneak attack to. I just can't do the 21.
Okay.
So I can use sneak
You can
attack on
sneak
this one
attack,
'cause
yeah.
I haven't used it yet. 9
Nine.
points of damage. God, I'm not rolling well on some of these dice.
9
Fucking
damage.
caltrops.
Right. Okay. All right. So you deal 9 damage. All right. 8. Unless your bonus action was the offhand. Okay. Yeah. 8.
Drop my sword. That's probably going to be really bad. I'm never going to be able to fight it again.
So you
but
drop in and it sinks to the bottom. Bloop.
needs must. I'll grab the spear
Okay.
and
Pick it up.
obviously use it with one
Jam it
hand.
in his face. Yeah. Okay. So no disadvantage on the stack. It's a terrible roll, but you don't have disadvantage, so it's all on you, buddy.
Yep, that's great.
That's it. Anything else?
Yep. Nope.
Okay. All right. Makaria, death save, please. Okay. Rin?
So here's the deal. I could cast Healing Word on Makaria, but she's right next to 2 fucking Sahagwin guys,
Mhm.
and they will
No,
just
they would just attack me.
they will just blender her again, which makes it completely pointless.
No,
So
just like
instead,
deal
I'm
with
gonna
the.
save that for
yeah.
later. I'm gonna
Okay.
save that for later because maybe maybe death will take you with a 20, but who knows? Or a 1, sorry, but who knows? And I will instead Dissonant Whispers that same guy again. I'm gonna give him more psychic head injuries.
Blue Jay accepted the fate of Macaria a long time ago.
Roll that wisdom save for me, Adam.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Wisdom save. Whoop. A 5.
Hey, he failed. Sweet deal.
And which one was this? The one that was attacking Macaria?
Same dude.
Okay.
Like yeah, same guy. 5 damage, I guess.
Takes 5 damage. Yep. Okay.
Damn it.
And does he has disadvantage on his next attack?
No, this is a Dissonant Whispers. He has to run away as far as he can from me.
Right. Good.
Immediately.
Okay. All right. And does that happen now or is it on his turn?
That happens now.
Okay. So he moves 40 away from you. Let's draw a line. Okay. So basically like diagonally away from you like this. Okay. He swims off. Shit. And like swims away. This Sahagin is like, oh, good. I guess I get to eat this half elf.
Crap.
Okay. Someone swims off. Rin.
Yes.
No, actually, this is perfect. It's perfect that he runs that way. So we see him swim that way, and
oh no, I know what's gonna happen.
So you see him swim off, and he starts to fade from your view, and then a bigger, like this huge dark shape, just like appears, and then he disappears. He just like this hog and vanishes, and you all hear a terrible, like vibrating sound. This like rumble, like a ripple through the water. And the Sahagin are gonna on their turn. Let's make a wisdom save for them.
Dragon, save us.
Okay, yeah, they flee. They all start to flee. So anybody who has an attack of opportunity can do so as they scatter.
Fuck you.
It's a reaction, right?
That's a reaction. Yep.
I haven't done that. I can do it.
Do it.
Fuck, I'm useless.
Okay. All right. So they swim in random directions, abandoning their prey, and you see emerge from the water over on this side.
I got a spite. Jewel picks up some of the Sahagin and just eats some of it. Like, fuck you. I'm not food. You're food.
It tastes so bad. And yes, you see swimming with its wings, just like pushes itself forward, an enormous bronze dragon. It comes swimming through the water, and it alights next to Macaria.
And then it eats her in the end.
Yeah, and then it just picks you up and it rips you in half while it looks at Rin, just tearing you into small pieces.
Just hoists you.
I would be momentarily sad, but not altogether.
Yeah, and so it comes over, and let's take a look here. Like, looks at your body.
Doesn't have healing spells.
And it doesn't. I don't think I think this one's not old enough to have spells. But he picks. You see this dragon land, and it looks at you like there's no. He's not smiling. The music is not happy. It's still tense. And he reaches down and with his front paw like picks Macaria up, and like she's like hanging limply from his claw. And he just reaches out and like pats her on the head like she's a doll.
I'm trying to get its attention with a like, bring her here, I can help her.
Macaria, you are stabilized by the dragon. The dragon makes sure that you don't die, so you're unconscious.
Why?
And he's just like holding you, and it looks up, and I think probably that's our last shot is right him holding Macaria, and the three of you staring at this enormous dragon as it looks up at you. Eyes, I think it's like glowy green eyes. Yeah. Eyes glowing green. He looks up at you, and I think we can see in his jaws little flickers of light, little like jolts of electricity.
I like that his medicine check is to pat her on the head.
Yeah, like you'll be okay. You're not as dead as you thought. You didn't see the part where he like jolted her heart back to life.
Yeah.
He's a living defibrillator. Yep. Cool. All right. Well, we'll call it there.
Deliver later.
Yeah, so you can have a conversation with this bronze dragon next time.
Good.
I'm really looking forward to that.
It's all on Rin.
If only Malik was here, he had advantage.
If only
the dragons that he never used.
To make fucking problems for everybody.
I mean, Malik. The best place to deal with Malik is underwater because all of his spells.
It's all fire.
Yeah. So probably what the bronze dragon will do is he'll hold on to Macaria and be like, "I have a challenge for you. here's the deal. Either you lift me off the ground or I kill your friend.
Sweet.
The hoist.
We already know how that goes.
We've been trained
Eight
for this.
succeeded.
That's right. Cool. Well, thanks everybody. That was awesome. Yeah. So for folks watching at home, this is another one of those encounters where I used a map from the Roll20 marketplace to just throw an encounter together quick before before we came back from the break. So I put this together on the break, and the Sahagin, there are too many of them really to expect this party to be able to fight them off. But I had a counter. You'll notice that the Bronze Dragon came in at the beginning of the initiative order. So I was just waiting to see if they would get slaughtered or kill these things in the amount of time.
I could have killed them all.
I
could have
believe
done
you.
it. As
I
soon
believe
as I got that spear.
So is it just the party composition that made it like, because they do the Zentarum always give this quest to you at this time?
So Foursquare give you the quest, but it doesn't say anything about Sahagin, right? There's no combat stuff here. It's just like go to the bottom of the ocean and find the dragon and talk to him.
Yeah, that's
But
boring. We want to kill things.
Yeah, I mean it's D&D, and if you don't get to kill stuff every once in a while, and I haven't in all of my streaming time, I don't think I've ever had like an underwater battle with sea goblins. So I thought it'd be fun
There
to
you
kind of
go.
throw that together.
Done.
Yeah, so we threw in.
Tick that one off your list, Adam.
That's right.
Check mark.
And
Done.
never do it again.
God, they suck. And
It's not, you know what, because of advantage, this is the only underwater thing I've done in 5e, and because of
Because of
advantage and disadvantage, it's not such a big deal. Like, it used to be a lot more complex. In this, it's just like, unless you're using these weapons, you have disadvantage.
it's true.
So,
It's easy to keep track of, but it is also
It is
frustrating to
also
have.
hugely difficult. Yeah.
yes, yeah, totally. It's
It's
complicated.
going to be a learning experience. An 8 is never going to go anywhere without an underwater fighting weapon again.
Yeah, you never know, you might need a harpoon gun. All right, cool. Well, we'll say our goodbyes, and then we will carry on. I think, and Dave, correct me on this, I think we have another like schedule weird happening soon. Yeah, this next coming week, because
Yeah, we'll have another.
I believe that this channel is being used in our normal slot for Gamehole Con, maybe. Yeah, so the Friday slot is occupado next time. So we will be back real soon. We'll be back on Wednesday. In fact, Wednesday morning in the early slot. So you don't even have to wait that long before you get to see us again.
It's so soon.
I know. So we'll be back Wednesday morning, and hopefully, Dave, you feel better by then. Dave, I'll let you do your shout outs first, and then you can lie down.
Thank you. Yeah. Hi everybody. Thanks for coming and watching and stuff. As always, it was great to play again. It felt like it'd been forever. But anyway, if you'd like to see me, I'm at Twitter at Dave_the_human. And I'm on Twitch sometimes as well at Dave_human. No, I can't talk about that yet.
Secret Dave things.
Sweet. Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Blue Jay?
Hi, I'm Blue Jay. I didn't get to reroll character this time, but we can always hope for next time.
Makari Arata, flirting with death.
I mean, what else are you supposed to do with death, really?
Mm-hmm.
But you can find me the rest of the time on twitch.tv/BlueJay or on Twitter at BlueJay_712. This weekend, I'm going to be trying out some of that Fallout beta. So if you want to see massive bugs, you know,
it's
where
great
to
because
find them.
both uses of that word apply, because it's a Bethesda
exactly,
game and it's
right?
Fallout. Massive bugs. Good. I love it.
Massive bug. Yeah. See, I did it on purpose.
Nice. Thanks, Blue Jay.
Uh-huh.
Over there, it's Elf. Elf?
Hello, friends. I'm Distracted Elf. I speak to birds and dragons and other things, I suppose. And you can find me at twitch.tv/DistractedElf or on Twitter at DistractedElf.
Fantastic. Short and sweet. And down below, Random Tuesday, it's Lauren. Do the thing.
You can find me on the internet at Random Tuesday or on my other RPG homes, Geek Space TV and Roll for It, because I play a lot of games on the internet.
Word. Same.
Yep.
Big mood. Yeah, my name's Adam Coble. I'm the Dungeon Master. I did the thing. We all did. It was great. I love this campaign. I had a very stressful morning, as I do sometimes, running the faction turn for the other role-playing game that I do, Far Verona. which you can find at twitch.tv/itmejp. You can also find Court of Swords if you want more D&D over there, but you can find all of my stuff at twitch.tv/AdamKoble. I've been playing the heck out of some Magic lately, and I'm super excited. Next Friday, the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica
Oh my
comes
god,
out.
it's so soon.
I know. Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica comes out next Friday, which I'm super hype about. And I talked a little bit about that and about kind of the stuff we've been talking about for the future of this show over on the most recent vlog that I did, which is on my YouTube channel. You can find all my stuff. Go to Twitter, Skinny Ghost. And that's it. We're done. Play role-playing games. Do it. Roll20.net. You can buy this adventure module, as well as many other exciting 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons products. And thanks to everybody who donated. Dungeons & Dragons is working on raising money for Extra Life today. They're doing awesome. They have so much donation. But if you're interested in that, check it out. I think all of the D&D streams have some of that stuff going on. So thanks for coming, everybody. This has been us. You've been you. We'll see you next time. Bye. This stream is brought to you by Roll20, an easy-to-use virtual tabletop dedicated to making tabletop RPGs accessible to everyone. Join the adventuring party at roll20.net.